welcome everybody who was patiently waiting. I know there are so many people that were waiting for this.
I'm gonna retweet the tweet you tweeted.
Yay! I'm going to exit RuneScape because for some reason that was open. And we're gonna go to Discord and oh, hold on. I need to send some things real quick, so you guys aren't gonna see me for a second, but we are both still here. I just have to get a couple things out, and it's through Discord, which is why it doesn't work. Okay, and now back to here, and here we are.
You good?
We're good.
Almost done tweeting this.
Tweet it. Just jam into the music.
I don't think I can hear it.
Oh, well, you'd have to be, I mean, you can play your own music if you want.
Yeah, I could. Oops, and I almost tweeted, and gun accessories.
Gun accessories. But yeah, welcome everybody.
I'm saying, talking about mental health care and gun access in quotes. Because that's like a
Hey, Seasprin is here.
Hi, Seasprin.
Hello, Seasprin. You're the first one. You get a prize. How many awesome points does Seasprin get for being the first?
I'll let you decide. Pick anything under 10,000.
Okay, you get Seasprin, you get 500 awesome points.
Hell yeah.
Because you're the first. What's up, Ducky? Ducky Furball's here.
Hey.
Create and more. Welcome in. I don't think I've seen you here before, so welcome in. Seasprin, my first win. Yes. Hold on. I just need to respond to a text real quick, and then we will be good to go.
In the meantime, I'm gonna try and log into Twitch so that I can.
Mob time. Hey, Molly's here. Hi, Molly.
Hi, Molly.
Skull Gamer, welcome back. Yeah, it has been a little while, huh? Let me know. Let me know if the music gets too loud for you guys. I can always turn that down. Just as we're getting started here. I do have a new microphone, so hopefully I sound
it's so nice.
Hopefully I sound a little bit better to you guys. Trying to get that nice, sexy radio announcer voice.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to
radio quality.
I can't talk that low. But
that's actually pretty good though.
Welcome to KZRT.
You could radio.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't like it's not like a radio quality mic, but it's still pretty good. It's a USB mic. School's been stressful, so T-bath? What does T-bath mean? I'm not actually familiar with that acronym. But guys, tonight, so I haven't been in the streams lately. Hey man, if you got schoolwork you got to do, I mean that takes priority. I definitely appreciate you focusing on that.
Yeah, schoolwork is important.
It's.
You can always put this in the background.
That's true. I mean, we're going to be talking for a while, at least a couple hours or so. I know some people that do that to me. They put my stream in the background while they're working or whatever. But yeah, welcome in everybody. It's good to see you guys. Should I play an ad real quick so that people don't get the pre-roll ad?
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Okay, guys, so bear with me. I'm going to play a very short ad. Like, we're talking 1 minute max.
So if there's anything you need to do in the meantime to get settled.
I believe you can still can you still chat when the ad is going? I believe you can.
Okay, we can talk in the chat.
So we're going to run a quick 1 minute ad just so people don't get the pre-rolls when they come in. And if you subscribe, you won't get the ads. So anyway, quick break. We will be right back. Okay, so the 1 minute ad is going.
TBAF doesn't mean anything.
Oh, it's a typo. Okay. That's what I wasn't sure about
something
that.
as fuck, or to something as fuck.
Yeah, that's what I thought
Or
it was.
a fuck.
But yeah, welcome in. Yeah, I just wanted to get that. I meant to do that right when we started, but
Oh, I'm getting a commercial for Lil Nas. Or no, it's the commercial that he did with Logic Sound.
oh, nice.
I actually like that one. They did a good job with that one.
But yes, and then we'll get started here. So super excited to talk to you guys tonight about more mental health topics. We have a couple that things we wanted to cover. Do we want to start with just a question of, like how everyone's doing, or?
I think that's a good idea. We can see how people are doing and what's going on.
Callan! Hello, Callan! Callan is here. Hello. Yeah, so welcome everybody. I think the ad should be over now, hopefully, for most of you.
Yes,
but definitely welcome in. Hey, congrats! Callan passed the FE exam.
Nice.
Let's get some hype in the chat. Hype! Get some hype in the chat for Callan, who just passed a difficult exam called the Fundamentals of Engineering exam. This is my
doppelganger, but
yes, basically the female version of me.
Yeah.
Not exactly, but like we're both civil engineers. Like we both like a lot of the same.
That person you have a lot in common with.
Foods, like interests. So yeah, and Callan's a regular here, I would say.
Yeah, Callan's cool.
So, but yeah, I was gonna accept it.
Nice.
So we're just checking in. How are all of you today? How has your mental health been the past week? And if you can, what was something that was a win for you? Or something that was a loss? That could be a good question to ask.
Yeah. Callan cleaned their room, which is admirable because my room is a disaster right now. I'm going through the process of like getting ready to move. And so I'm pulling everything out of boxes and then putting them back in boxes so that I can mail them.
Gotcha.
So everything's a mess.
Seasprint says my mental health is pretty good right now. Clean my room and clean my desk, so now I have room. Nice. Hi, my mom's here. Hi, Mom. She's Jin Ricky.
And
welcome,
Bob Potato?
Welcome in. Bob Potato, welcome. Bob Potato is here. Merhaba, everyone.
Ooh, created more drawing for the first time in a couple weeks.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Digital or traditional?
I'm good. Work has been super busy. So I've been hanging in there, working overtime, doing weekend work, and kind of trying to sneak in some streams when I can. It's gotten a little bit better this week. But yeah, just very, very busy, a little stressed, to be honest.
Your TikTok's popping off though.
A little bit. I haven't posted one in a while, but I posted one TikTok that got like 70,000 views, and I was like, oh, and it was the stupidest thing ever. It was like some like Wendy's salad that they put onions on the side, and it was just like they gave like a big container for just a couple little onions, and I thought it was kind of funny, and like the algorithm liked it apparently.
Apparently, food content is relatable.
Oh, Ducky, I cleared out my closet after years. Nice.
I have so much clothes.
Oh, and started on art TikTok. I think Echo, you started on TikTok too, right?
I have like 2, but I need to pick it back up again because like art TikTok is a thing, and I could, it's another platform that would be good for just uploading stuff. But I'm just not. I'm putting everything off until I get to Washington. So right now I'm just like focused on doing the bare minimum and moving.
Nice.
Which is a lot because I got to cut back on as much stuff as I can. It's always hard.
That is hard. That's moving is always difficult. I mean, when I was growing up, my mom knows we moved a lot. So I've lived in like 7 states, I think, and like 5 or 6 different schools. So yeah, it was a lot. Paper and pencil. No. Okay, so creating more is doing some paper and pencil art. Nice. Bob Potato, I finished 4 homework assignments today because I was able to watch a movie. Look at that. That's like 2 wins, right? You finished all the homework assignments and you got to watch a movie. That's awesome, Bob. I'm excited for you. Digital takes practice. Yeah, I suck at pretty much both.
I feel like you're pretty
I'm
good at art.
okay. I'm not
you draw like an engineer. You're very good at drawing like technical things.
That's true. I do know drafting. I know AutoCAD. That's about the extent of my digital prowess, I guess. Cool gamer. I'm a digital artist. I can never go back. Is it tough to change back to like
kind
hand
of
art after doing digital?
a little bit. Like there's some things that you just like. Digital art has the advantage of like all art supplies in one, but it's still different and it takes practice and stuff. But yeah, every time I now that I'm doing like full on digital stuff, every time I try and go back to like working on art stuff, I'll still end up being like, oh, I like digital better, and then just go back to my iPad.
Gotcha. Yeah, Ducky says, yeah, it's mostly a hobby thing. I doubt I could keep a strong posting consistency. Oh, for the TikTok? Yeah,
mine would be the same.
I said a thing. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna post a TikTok every other day, and I stuck to it for maybe like 2 weeks, and then I'm just like, I just like ran out of ideas and like stuff to do. Like, there's still some stuff I want to do, but I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna post every 2 days. C-Spring, I'm really happy because I'm into the MCU and I finished WandaVision and started Falcon and Winter Soldier. Nice. We are in the same boat.
Need to start.
We finished WandaVision, which was amazing. If you haven't seen it, definitely recommend. And we started Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I'm curious to hear, C-Sprin, what you think of Falcon and the Winter Soldier so far. No spoilers, but just what are your thoughts on it?
There's only been one episode, right?
There's only one episode so far.
Okay, I've seen the first episode.
Okay.
Does it also come out on Fridays?
I believe so. I'm not 100% sure.
Like
I think it's also on Friday. Drafting is a beautiful art firm, of course. Hey, Jung Lee. Did I say that right? Jung Lee? Junglix. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it.
Yeah. It's nice seeing you.
Yeah, I agree, Skull Gamer. Posting consistently takes a lot of effort. Yep. Just TikTok trend. Oh, can you draw people? Then draw a man. And I'm like, yeah, I suck at drawing people. I think a lot of people who aren't like talented artists, even talented artists, I think have trouble with people sometimes, right?
People are hard, and basic anatomy is really difficult. It takes like years to get the hang of, and even then, things like hands and feet are two of the most difficult things to draw.
Yeah, I usually just draw circles.
Yeah, we're funky meat robots. We're very odd shapes. Very difficult to draw.
Enjoy the theory of digital, but I can't get all the way into it. I'm bad at getting deep into any art form at the moment. That's understandable.
Yeah, digital takes time because it's a completely different medium, especially if like, so on the upside, styluses and digital tools are getting better, whereas like even, I don't know, like 5 years ago, digital tools were a lot more limited. Where like you would get pen drift and you'd have to like reset your pen using the like corners and stuff constantly. But now with stuff like the Apple Pencil, it's so nice. Like it's there's great.
A lot of cool stuff you can do. Oh yeah, June, you're not too late. We literally just started here.
We're just like
we haven't even really gotten to a topic yet. We're just kind of like checking in with everyone, seeing how everyone's doing. Yeah, 100% hand suck. Hair is the worst. Oh, C-Sprint.
Hair is really hard.
Really looking forward to where they go. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm curious, yeah, to see where it goes, because I wasn't super impressed with the first episode, but you know that's I was the same way with WandaVision, and then WandaVision was like amazing. So, you know, you can't really judge a whole series just by the first episode, you know. So I'm willing to give it some more time. I'm definitely gonna watch all of it, I'm sure.
What is it? Captain America movies weren't really my taste as far as the MCU goes.
Really? Those were like some of my favorites.
Yeah, I'm not that big into them, I guess.
Really?
I really like the Iron Man movies. Which other ones? I guess the Thor movies were okay. Not my
I like the Thor
tier.
ones.
But I also
Captain America's my bae. I think like
guy.
Civil War was so good though.
Civil War is
and
the one where everything breaks up.
and Winter Soldier. Those were both so good. Thor Ragnarok, yes. Although I think my favorite probably has to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, see,
just
like
because I love
the
humor in it. Like it can just be so funny.
Like, ignoring like all the Chris Pratt general drama, he's a good actor for that part.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I really like Chris Pratt's like humor because it's like very similar to how I am, I think.
Yes, it fits perfectly with the character. He's one of those ones. It's like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Pratt. There's like a handful of them where it's like, yes, you are. Deadpool, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I feel like those three are like, you are this character.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, Deadpool's amazing too.
Yeah, that one's. I think Deadpool is like god tier for me. That's like
is
top.
It? That's
like,
your
and
top?
It's not even part of. It's not even part of the MCU.
Is it Marvel?
It is. Yes, Deadpool's Marvel. Harley Quinn is DC. That's how I remember it.
Okay.
I have a red and black character for Marvel and a red and black character for DC.
Yeah, because Harley Quinn's from Batman, which is DC. Yeah, MCU Spider-Man movies are good. Yes.
Spider-Man movies. That's
I think Tom Holland is the perfect like teenage Spider-Man, right?
Yes.
He definitely like encapsulates like a teenager vibe to Spider-Man, which was how he was. I think also I gotta give a little credit to Into the Spider-Verse. I think
Into the Spider-Verse is like
that's one of
that's up there with Deadpool for me.
When it comes to movies for me, I'm not the type of person who really likes watching the same movie twice. Into the Spider-Verse, I can watch like 100 times because it's that good. Like I love rewatching that movie.
And you see something different like every time because just there's so much going on visually. Like,
there's so much. There's so much. Like the
animators like poured so much.
There's a few like if you freeze the frame, there's a single frame of like some like very comical effect or whatever.
There's like this really cool moment that I saw some of the animators on Twitter breaking down where they animated it in ones but played it in twos, or I think it's the other way around. So essentially what happens is like, because of animation is the way that it is, it's like every 2 frames is a thing, but so they have like 2 characters running, so it's like every 2 frames they take a step, but they interlaced it, so it's like every other frame they're moving. So in the shot there's full consistent animation even though it's animated in 2s. So there's something going on every single frame. But the animation is only happening in 2s. It's really cool. And there's also like in the background you see him like chuck a bagel and it actually hits someone in the head.
It says bagel.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, see, it's like such a fantastic little thing, but it's like if I hadn't seen it broken down, I never would have known that.
Seasprin, I'm a huge Star Wars fan too. Mandalorian is amazing.
Haven't seen Mandalorian. We need to watch it.
Oh, we do. We need to like. I've seen all of them, but I need to watch Clone Wars too.
Yeah.
The art from Spider-Verse was amazing. I was like, I only like the original Spider-Man. Then I saw Tom Holland's acting, and I STFU. Nice.
Tom Holland is a good Spider-Man.
I like the guy in the chair. Guy in the chair. His like friend. I forget his name.
Yes. I don't remember his name either, but he is also a very good character. The casting for that movie, they did such a good job.
They sure did.
Marvel's casting has been like on point.
Yeah. Oh, Peter B. Parker was animated in 1s because he's the most experienced and he's more fluent in his skills. But Miles is animated in 2s because of his lack of experience and confidence.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
There's different scenes that are like animated. Yeah, it's incredible. There's like there's so many little things in that movie, like when you actually like look and break it down and like, oh, it's incredible. There's so much
Ned,
heart in that
that's
movie.
right. Welcome Blumen the Thale artist. Ned, that was his friend's name.
Menthol artist.
Blue Menthol artist. That's not Blumenthal artist. Blue Menthol artist. Got it.
That's one of the first times I've been able to get a username before you.
Oh yes, Clone Wars is good. I haven't watched all of it. I just need to get in there and just watch it all.
Is that a series?
Yeah,
or
that's
is that
right.
another
Yeah,
movie?
guy in the chair was Ned. But yeah, guys, we were gonna talk about some mental health things, so we can go ahead and
Yeah,
start
we can go
getting
ahead and
into
go into
those
that now.
discussions. So we were gonna. So what did you want to start with, Echo? Did you want to
So
start
I feel
with?
like let's see. Did you put me as internet celebrity? I just noticed the title
Yeah.
of that.
Why not?
Sure, why not? Yeah, so we were going to talk about a couple things in this mental health stream, starting with healthcare access.
Yeah.
Because this is something that's very complex in America. Like I'm sure no matter where you are, you know that like American health insurance is a big deal because we're one of the only first world countries that doesn't have government health insurance, which unfortunately means that all of our healthcare is like pushed into the private sector. So it's really complicated. And yeah, so like we kind of have different experiences because Dan gets his health insurance through his work, which is like a lot of Americans. And I technically do get my health insurance through our government. So the government does have a small sect of health insurance that it provides for like lower income people or like people with like specific needs. And I think it's technically Medicare. I think that's what it is. But Medicare?
Yeah.
But I think it has a different name in Arizona. But yeah, so like, or is Medicare what?
Isn't Medicare
is for
the
seniors?
for
Medicare's the one
old
for
people,
seniors?
I think.
I forget what the name for, so it's like
there's Medicare and then there's like Medicaid, right?
I think it's Medicaid. But in Arizona it's called Access. But it's spelled weird. See, this is like American health insurance. Even we don't know what's going on.
I have to like healthcare is very confusing in this country.
So complicated.
And we can talk a little bit about our experiences.
Medicare is the older one. That's what Callan said.
Okay, so Medicare is like for the older people. RIP Obamacare.
Obamacare's still going.
I think. I mean,
McCain,
the last administration tried to take it down.
McCain stopped it.
I don't think they did, right? I think it's still...
No, because remember, there's the iconic... That's one of the things, so like Arizona senators, we're like, there's the trope of the thumb down, thumb up thing, because Kirsten Sinema did her little thumbs down curtsy. No one gets basic living wages, and she's supposed to be a Democrat, so she's supposed to be more like pro minimum wage. And then McCain, who's like the opposite, was like one of the few remaining Republicans with integrity, and saved Obamacare with his like
single
and
vote.
then just walked away. But he was very like stoic about it, and so he saved it. And I think that was one of the last things he did before he left office and then passed away from cancer.
I think he had brain cancer, right?
No, he didn't leave office because we had Martha McSally for a while. So he
stepped
passed
down
away before his.
I thought.
Did he step down? That may have been what it was.
I think he stepped down, and then
I'm pretty sure he may have died before his term ended, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
But yeah, let's get to what people are saying. I'm on the fence about getting diagnosed with ADHD. Either I pay a small fortune for someone to tell me something I already know, or I waste a small fortune on being wrong about myself, or wait 6 months. So what happens in 6 months? Are you
waiting on a job kind of thing?
Possibly.
So I feel like it's hard to tell. ADHD is one of those things where it's like, I don't want to say like if you think you have it, there's a good chance you have it, but it's like I want to say that, but I'm also not entirely sure. Like I have mild ADHD, so I'm on ADHD meds, but it's nothing addictive or like potentially habit forming. So it's like the more mild ADHD medication, because my case is pretty mild, I think.
Yeah, and I don't have ADHD, but I do have several friends that have it. Mm-hmm. And that's what sucks with the American healthcare system is like you have to decide sometimes, okay, do I want to be healthy or do I want to have money?
Yeah. So
Because
one of the things,
it sucks, but like that's the reality we're living in right now.
yeah. So there was a point where I had actually kind of wanted to just try the stronger ADHD meds to see how like I would react, if it would be anything different or if it would just be, I don't know, to kind of like test to see if I had ADHD. And I was talking to my psychiatrist person, but because I think that he was very hesitant and he was like, we can just strengthen the one that you currently, or the other medication that you're currently taking. And I think they're very careful not to prescribe habit forming medication as much as they can. And part of me thinks that that's because they're connected to government healthcare, and so they're more likely to work with people in lower income who are more likely to form drug habits.
Gotcha.
And so I think part of so I have not even I've not even tried like more intense ADHD medication, and I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like I feel like if I was paying out of pocket like I was when I first started my like seeking a diagnosis for my mental issues, my doctor was very like, well, let's try you on this. Let's just see how it works. And it was very like she was more so like willing to work with me almost. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like she was more willing to trust my judgment. And I feel like part of that is because before I was paying out of pocket and not paying, or like I was paying cash to go see a psychiatrist and actually get a diagnosis, versus now it's paid for by the government.
Right. Yeah, and like and we're a little bit different because you're like your insurance is kind of, I mean, you're like self-employed, so you have to like
Yeah.
go get your own, whereas I'm employed by a company and I have you know,
They have an
employer
insurance
a
package.
healthcare policy with the company.
And that comes out of your paycheck, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of. Uh like they basically like they pay for a certain amount of it and then you cover the rest, which is like basically, yeah, they take it out of your paycheck, whatever. But
And I
yeah,
think that's how it is for most like Americans, that most their health insurance is covered through their workplace.
right.
But yeah, even if I didn't have government health insurance, which I do now, I would have like I would have to find my own insurance, and I believe the most common for self-employed people is Blue Cross. They're one of the big ones.
Yeah. And the thing that sucks in the US is that even if you have really good insurance, it doesn't matter too much because you're still gonna like, especially if you have what's called a high deductible plan, which is what I have. Like even with insurance and even with like having that, like if I go to the ER, I'm still gonna have to pay between like $1,500 to like $2,000 for like a 2-hour visit.
Yep.
Because that happened to me once, and that's probably on the lower end. I would say some people can pay even more than that. Now, if you have, I mean, different kinds of insurance work differently. Mine, it's like basically I have to meet this deductible, which is per year, and I think mine is like around like 5,000. So essentially, I pay everything up to 5,000, and then after that, my insurance pays, I think, 80% of everything after that, and I pay 20% until you get to the out-of-pocket maximum, which for me, I believe is like 6,500 or so, which is a lot of money per year.
It really sucks because if you don't, like, if you're in good health and you don't end up spending more than $5,000 on health insurance costs, then you've just paid for all of your health stuff. And also, all of the money that you paid for insurance, you've gotten nothing out of.
Right.
Like, that's just gone to them because of just to have that safety net there. And then, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, it's really going to come in handy if anything happens, where if you, like, if a drunk driver crashed into you, or you have like an appendectomy suddenly, if something happens and you do have to go to the hospital and it costs like 27 grand, you only have to pay 5 grand and they'll pick up the rest of the costs.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and it's like I saw this guy the other day that he got like a snake bite and it was like $150,000 was his bill.
Oh, for the anti-venom?
For like
Oh.
he went to the ER and like I think it's from a few years ago.
Mhm.
But the thing that's crazy about this whole system, right, is that it's not like you go to the doctor and they charge you and it's like a good price. It's like they're gonna charge you as much as they can, and there's no limit. Like you could go in.
They charge you as much as they can because the insurance companies try to haggle.
Because they negotiate. The insurance companies go like, okay, you know, $10,000 for, you know, a sprained ankle is a little too much. Can we drop it to like 3,000? And then they're like, well, we could do like 4,000. They're like, okay, 4,000. And like, they literally, they could charge an arm and a leg. Like,
the worst part is like if there is no insurance company, they're still trying to charge an arm and a leg, expecting that haggling business to go after all of their things, which is why this is actually a useful tip. If you are getting a bill from like a hospital or anything, call up their billing department and ask for an itemized list of the charges. And it will cut down on like hundreds of dollars, because they don't want to tell you that they're charging you $50 for a Band-Aid. So all of the costs that are artificially inflated that they don't want to tell you about, they'll remove and put down to like a reasonable level. And that's one of the things that health insurance companies probably do.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, so, but that's one of those things that it's like, unless you're working for a health insurance company, you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't know to do that if you're just an average citizen who doesn't have health insurance.
Yeah, Skull Gamer, I agree. It's like you pay 100 grand for a transplant or $100 for meds. It's like you want to live, you have to be in medical debt for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where we're living at.
Medical debt is like, it's one of the debts. It's like one of the most common debts to like crush people or push people into bankruptcy. Although I know student debt you can't get out of with bankruptcy. Can you get out of medical debt with bankruptcy?
I don't think so. I mean,
I think medical debt
maybe.
And student debt are the two that remain even if you declare bankruptcy.
But yeah, June, I'm fairly healthy, but I remember the time where I was sickest I've ever been. My cousin, who's a doctor, told me to not go to the hospital because they'll charge as much as possible for something they wouldn't be able to do much about. Exactly. They'll like, even if they don't do anything, they're still going to charge you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for, you know, tests or for consultation or medical services, whatever that means. Like,
there was a point where I was at VidCon and there was another YouTuber who he'd gotten sick. He went to the hotel desk and he was like, should I go to the hospital or can I call an ambulance? And they were like, well, you're not American. Are you sure you want to do that? And he was like, yeah, why wouldn't I? And they were like, well, it's going to cost you like $400 just to, or no, it was like $600 just to get the ambulance to the hospital. And then all of the costs on top of that for the tests and everything. And he was like, oh, okay, never mind. I'll just wait because I'm flying home tomorrow. And so he flew home, went to the hospital there, like in London, in the United Kingdom. And it cost him like so the flight that he took was $400. Flying to another country was cheaper than a trip to the hospital.
Yep.
That's the American system.
That's the American way.
That's how we do it in America.
The thing that sucks, like, I've heard now, you know, I'm not going to go into politics too much tonight. But, you know, I hear
it's semi-unavoidable just given the...
Yeah, when you talk about healthcare, it's kind of hard to not, you know, talk about
because there's
the
like one
politics
party
involved.
that is very like, yes, let's give everyone healthcare, and there is one Well,
But
I shouldn't even say party, one group of people, because it's a group of people within a party and a group
right.
of people within a party. Because there's definitely Democrats who do not care if people get health care.
Yeah, but the thing is, like the whole argument that some people have is like, well, oh, if we do Medicare for all, or if, you know, everybody gets Medicare, like I don't want to pay my money to help, you know, poor people get healthcare, which first of all is not very nice. It's very selfish.
It's very messed up, because that can happen to anyone.
And the second thing is you already do. I think some people don't realize that when you get treated for healthcare and you have insurance, or you have, you know, the means to pay it back, they charge you a lot more than, you know, than they're really supposed to, because they need to make up all the free healthcare that they give to the very poor and like homeless people. So like if a homeless person, like there's, you know, I think it's, what is it? The Hippocratic oath that doctors take, where they can't like turn someone away who needs medical treatment.
They
but
have
like
to treat you if you go.
Even if
you
if you have no money, though they will treat you. Now they're gonna kick you with like, you know, a giant ass bill.
Yeah.
But they know that these people aren't going to pay that, so they charge everybody else more to cover the cost that it, you know, costs them to treat that person. So you're already doing that, and even so, I'm not exactly sure on the numbers, but I think it's something like, we pay like, was it like 2.5 or 3 times more per person for healthcare, like total costs, versus other countries.
I highly recommend Adam Ruins Everything. His the Adam Ruins Healthcare video is a fantastic, or healthcare or health insurance. I can't remember which one it is. It's incredible. He breaks down like why the system, how it got this way, like the history of the American healthcare system and how it ended up where it is now, and like the issues with medical debt and how it connects to politics and how things ended up so messed up.
Yeah, I'll definitely. Yeah, maybe we could watch it later on stream.
See, someone, Skull Gamer says people like to argue that they will be forced to have government healthcare and can't go private when that's not the case. In Canada and other countries with universal healthcare, there is still a private option. Yeah, there will be a private option. There's always going to be a private sector.
Yeah, it's just like my personal beliefs are that there's 3 things that shouldn't be for profit, and those are healthcare, prisons, and education, because those correspond with some things you might have heard before, which are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yeah.
So I don't think that those things should be for profit. Now that's just my opinion, but
I feel like it's arguable. Just it's an arguable opinion. Like it's I don't know. I feel like I'd have to look more into the statistics of it, but I feel like when you put it for profit, bad things happen, because suddenly,
especially when you look at the prison system. Now we are kind of pivoting a little bit from healthcare, but like the for-profit prisons, like they have a minimum number of people they need to keep, so they want to keep incarceration rates high, which is the opposite of what a normal humane person would
as a society.
Want. As a society, you want to keep crime down, but for the for-profit prisons, they want to keep crime up so that they can incarcerate more people and keep them there so they can make more money.
Yeah, because
so
they
get
paid a certain amount to house these people from the government, and all these. It's a big mess. Big mess.
It's a mess.
Anyway, health insurance in America is a mess.
Yeah, and like I've been in medical debt before, and it sucks. And luckily, I have it paid off. But a lot of people, like they can't pay it off, and they have to, you know, just have it forever. Or
that's like I have a really annoying. So I didn't. Oh, that's another thing. Ooh, the GoFundMe is sad. GoFundMe has become like what taxes are supposed to be.
It's like over half of. Isn't it over half of GoFundMe's
it's more than that. It's
are just
like
for medical debt?
Yeah, it's like how. No, let's do what percentage.
Yeah, exactly. And poor people are the backbone of society.
Mm-hmm.
Not just poor, even like, low income working families are the backbone as well.
Oh, maybe it's not. Okay. 1 in 3 GoFundMe campaigns is now for medical bills.
Okay, so I was a little off with that, but still,
Okay. So
a
I was
third.
backwards.
That's still a
A
lot.
third is a lot. That makes me wonder what the rest of them are.
But yeah, American healthcare sucks. I think most people can
Oh,
agree.
well, it says 1/3 of the donations. But, well, no, this one says campaigns. So, yeah, 1/3 of fundraisers are for medical bills.
Mhm. And I bet like
That's a lot.
99% of those are Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think there's many, like, especially in England or Canada, where people like literally go into debt for like thousands and thousands of dollars because they, had a broken foot or a broken hand or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy. All right.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone
Anyway,
if we want to move
yes.
to our next point of discussion, we were going to
Oh, well, I
talk.
wanted to talk about
Oh,
like access in terms of
oh yeah, we were going to ask about access to care also.
yeah, so in terms of, well, I also wanted to ask in terms of like with your health insurance, because
Mhm.
the one thing I do really like about the government health insurance that they do have in America, and that's like there's only a little bit, and I really agree with like AOC and Bernie Sanders of just take that, give it to everyone. Like that would solve so many problems.
Yep.
Is that it covers a lot in terms of like places you have access to. Like there's some things that are very limited, but there's also some things where it's like go anywhere and it'll pretty much be covered. In terms of finding a psychiatrist, therapist, anything like that, did you have like certain places that your provider would cover?
Yeah,
that it wouldn't.
That's another thing.
Which is another thing that really sucks about American health insurance.
Insurance,
is you have to find.
You can't go anywhere. You can't go to like any like hospital or not even hospital, but like doctor's office. Like you have to make sure they accept your insurance first of all. You have to, and then
research.
You have to make sure they're in a network. So there's a thing that's like in network and out of network. So like the in network providers, I guess they're called, they have a deal with the insurance agencies to like give medical care at like a certain rate or something, or like they're allowed to do that. So when you have insurance, you want to go to like your in network places. So for me, yeah, I did have to look around a little bit, but I was able to find one. And I've tried to change it to another location, and they were like, oh, well, we're not taking new clients right now. And even though it's the same company, because it's a different location, they weren't able to transfer me to this place that's like closer to my house because they're not taking new clients. And technically that would make me a new client if I went to a different location. So I was like, okay, well. And then also they're not taking whatever insurance, like they're, for the existing customers with the insurance I have, they're still like treating, but they're not taking new customers with the insurance that I had. So yeah, that's something to look out for.
Yeah, I hate that like you actually have to do your own research in terms of like it's not just finding like a good psychiatrist, a good therapist, a good person to talk to. It's also finding a good person that you're allowed to talk to because of your health insurance.
Right.
Unless you're paying out of pocket, which not everyone can do because it costs a lot of money. Like just seeing, like when I was having to pay out of pocket, it was about $200 per visit, which is a lot of money.
Even with my insurance, it's like $130.
Yeah, it's a lot of money per visit.
Mm-hmm. And that's for just like a routine, like just to refill my medication, like every 3 months is like $130. Plus the medication itself is like, I think about 50, 55 a month, which is actually, I think on the lower side. A lot of people, I mean, insulin,
mine is
for
technically
example.
15. Oh, insulin drives me up a wall.
Like literally it's like people pay $1,400 for a monthly supply of insulin. Like
And it's like without it,
It
they will
without it,
die.
they're gonna
They're
die. It's
paying
like
that
it
money
should
to
not,
be alive.
and it's literally to
The
make that
government should pick
insulin.
that up.
I think to make the insulin, they said it was like less than $5. Like, what?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Insulin is one that drives me up a wall because, and in other countries, it's like $15 a bottle. Like, it's like nothing. So my sister
Yeah.
has worked in pill packaging. She was a pharmaceutical technician, and so one of the things that she used to have to do on top of like putting pills in bottles to be sent out to different places and whatnot, she would have to like package insulin. And one of the things that she talked about was that like it's these containers of like, you have to like take the containers of insulin, take a certain amount, put them in a box to be shipped to like a pharmacy so that it can be distributed to people who are picking up their insulin. But she was talking about how one of the things that when she was working there was that if they drop a bottle, if they just drop it and it shatters, and that's like it's a $200 bottle of insulin, they just have to write it down, and that's it. Like they just have to write it down
That they broke
like,
one.
that, oh, it's like, oops, I broke a bottle. But it's like, this is like liquid life. This is like, oh, like it's just, it makes me so irritated because it's like, clearly this bottle is worth practically nothing except to the people who need it.
Except it has such a value to the, yeah, like you said, to the people that need it. Like to actually make it, it's
It
cheap.
costs nothing to make. It's like,
but it's like
there's no
necessary.
The supply and demand is artificially created, which is irritating because the demand is inflexible.
It's like having to pay for oxygen. Like the world, but people do that too. People that have like lung issues literally pay for the oxygen that they breathe. But yeah, there like June says, there's a lot of confusion around healthcare and health insurance, which is a problem in itself. I mean, it can be so confusing.
This is another thing I have experience with. So I studied a master's degree in the UK. I actually got to experience their healthcare. It's so much better than ours. Like, even though like you can end up being on waiting lists for certain things because like everything is prioritized. They prioritize everything, which makes sense. So it's like sometimes getting your mental health diagnosed can take a really long time because it's not like you broke your leg. So they're gonna like put people with like immediate needs are taken care of first, and people with long-term needs.
Yeah, it's just the triage, right?
It's just triage. And that's one of the things that American people complain about a lot, that like, oh, I wouldn't be able to like get my mental health diagnosed tomorrow if I was part of the like public healthcare or whatever. But it's like, yeah, but you also wouldn't be paying like $200 per visit to get it diagnosed and all this jazz. Anyway,
True.
So I've actually gotten to experience their healthcare system because there was a point where I started developing like just a really weird rash on my legs, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I was so hesitant to go to the doctor because you don't go to the doctor unless you're sure, unless there's really, really something wrong with you, because you could end up in severe medical debt. And I was just like, I don't even know where to go. And I had to pay $130 into their healthcare system when I first signed up for like my visa, and when I first signed up for all of the stuff for the school, I had to pay in $130. That was all it cost me. And because I paid that in, I was part of their healthcare system. I was like able to just access it. And I remember going in to the doctor and just being like terrified that like I was gonna, like, that I was doing something wrong. And they were just very like I went in, sat down with the doctor for 20 minutes. He like talked to me a bit. He was like, okay, try these over the counter anti allergy meds. If those don't work, come back and we'll check your kidneys. And I was like, okay, cool. I went to the pharmacy. I paid like $2 for anti-inflammatory stuff.
This was in England, right?
I was fine, yeah. And this is in England. And it was like, I never got a bill for it. Like, no one questioned me or anything. Like, and it was so straightforward. I was so, like, it made me angry that we have to deal with all of this garbage. Because it's like, if that had happened here, I'd have to do research to find, like, I'd have to do so much stuff beforehand to make sure that I wasn't going to get a massive medical bill.
Yep, which sucks, having to do that. I remember the one nice time I had a medical experience, if we can share a
Yeah,
positive
try and pivot
experience,
to yeah.
was when I was in college at ASU, and we actually like part of our tuition what went towards like their medical
Yeah.
thing, so you could actually get like medical stuff and not have to pay for it because you're kind of everyone's paying into this fund. Which
Yeah.
anyway, one time I got really upset that somebody stole my bike tire,
I
and
remember the
I
story.
was so mad, and I punched a stop sign hard, and I ended up fracturing my pinky. It's called a boxer's fracture, I guess. It's like a hairline fracture in the pinky, and I had to. So like I went, I got
It's
an
right
X-ray.
there.
Yeah, it was like right here, and then I had to wear a splint for like I don't know, like 4 weeks, 5 weeks or so. Um, but I think I paid like it was like $20 just for like the splint thing. And I was like, wow, this is nice. It'd be nice if like that's and like I was still in college, so I didn't know how like actual health insurance and all that stuff worked. I mean, I probably should have, but I think I was still technically on my parents' plan too. But it was
Have
just
you
like
ever
nice not having to worry. Like that's I think the greatest thing that um having universal healthcare, like not only that it gives access to people who would normally just either go into debt or die, but it just gives people the peace of mind that like if I get sick, like we're not going to lose our house, right? Or like if my kid has leukemia, like I'm not going to have to sell our house and get a second job and a third job to cover it. Like just having that peace of mind to me would be worth it. But anyway,
It's like every now and then there's this tweet image that goes around where someone was like, what if we just made like a massive GoFundMe for like everyone's medical bills and like made all of the everyone pitch in like $20, like we would be able to like pay for everyone's medical bills. And they were like, you just invented taxes. It's like this is literally government health insurance. Is a
yeah,
massive GoFundMe for everyone where everyone pitches in.
that's essentially what it would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me get to the chat. We've kind of been neglecting a little bit. Sorry, guys. Yeah, we do have our pronouns under our name. We are supportive of the LGBTQIA plus community. So definitely a safe space here. And Skull Gamer, if you become a doctor because you want to be wealthy, you shouldn't be a doctor. Yeah. Well, also doctors pay a lot for insurance. Like, especially like if you think of like surgeons, like, okay, they might be making,
Oh yeah, they have to insure their hands.
they might be making like
That's crazy.
$200,000, but they have to pay $100,000 for like insurance or something. Plus the giant amount of student debt that it takes to become a doctor.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I agree. Like, you should definitely try.
It's like you shouldn't be in the prison business to make money and get rich.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be in the healthcare business to get
Well,
rich.
I think also just in general, like you should find a profession that you enjoy and don't like
that you
only
care
do
about. It's your
just
passion.
because you want to make money, right?
Mhm.
I mean, certainly you can, like,
Business majors.
yeah, but
I feel like that's
it's
more a
nice.
love of independence, though.
Yeah. Don't people who live on the southern border cross Mexico by insulin because it's cheaper? Yeah, there's a lot of people that
Same
not
thing
only
with North too.
insulin,
Canada
but
is also
but
cheaper
they'll
for insulin.
go to Mexico for like dental work too, even.
And antibiotics. This is another
and
thing.
drugs. Like not like well, I mean, yeah, they
So,
have drugs, but like
know
drugs
how-
you need, like
I feel like people
over
are
the
always
counter.
complaining about like Mexicans transporting drugs over the border, and it's like, okay, the only people I've ever heard of, and I've come from a Hispanic family, the only time I've ever heard of people moving drugs across the border, it's white people buying like antibiotics and hydroxychloroquine and like stupid shit in Mexico and then bringing it to America because our healthcare is so expensive. That's the only
Yeah.
time IRL that I ever hear of like anyone transporting drugs across the border.
Yep, that's how we're living. Yeah, so biblical angels, anesthesiologists, anesthesiologists have bananas insurance cards. I can believe it. I mean, I've heard stories of people who, wake up during surgery, or I've heard of someone who was having surgery and woke up but was still paralyzed but could feel everything.
It's like nightmare fuel.
That is. Oof,
also, like, this might be a thing that you maybe not. Have you ever heard the thing about how red-haired people require more painkillers than like non-red-haired people?
I haven't heard that before. What,
yeah, like there's some weird connection between red-haired people
gene?
And like I want to pull it up, but they require like more anesthetic to go under and more painkiller to stop pain. Red hair.
Oh, Callan says I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Well, just my beard is red. My actual hair is,
which makes me wonder if you have like some kind of a 2004 study showed that redheads require on average about 20% more general anesthesia than people with dark hair or blonde hair.
Imagine if that applied to dyed hair as well. Echo, look out.
And in 2005, researchers found that redheads are more resistant to the effects of local anesthesia, such as the numbing drugs used by dentists. So, yeah. So it's not painkillers; it's just anesthesia.
Okay.
I'm eating Tic Tacs. But yeah. So like, redheads, like this is an actual thing. Like redheads require more anesthetic than non-redheads, and this was a thing like in
So Ireland just must be, off the charts with anesthesia then, right?
There is a red-haired woman that I follow who's like married to a Japanese man, Rachel and June. I don't know if any of you guys know them. They're great. But she's like a very red-headed, like tall, thin white woman. She's very like, I don't know. I want to say American, but Irish, British,
UK.
I don't know.
That's what I'm like mostly like UK.
Northern, yeah. Like anyway, she has very, very red hair. And so she requires more anesthetic than like the people around her. Anesthesia.
Yeah, I think anesthetic is something else.
Oh. She requires more anesthesia than like the people around her in Japan, because like she's living in Japan with her Japanese husband, and like that's a thing that she has to bring up whenever she goes into the doctor if she's doing anything like dental work or like doing anything that requires any kind of Rachel and June are awesome. But yeah, anytime she needs to go into the doctor, she has to tell them like, just want to check and make sure that because this is a thing that you probably don't interact with a lot. I need more.
I need more. Give me more of that juice. Huh? Yeah, I had never heard that before. So I learned something today.
And so it makes me wonder if like you might require slightly more.
Maybe. I mean, I haven't.
Than other.
I mean, I haven't really had
when
much.
You get dental work,
surgery.
Do you feel it?
So, I mean, I don't think so, but I did get my wisdom teeth removed a couple years ago, and they put anesthesia anesthesia for that. I didn't like ask for more or anything, but it knocked me out and
it worked.
It worked. So
okay, yeah. Yeah, I haven't noticed anything. I've had and I've been under general anesthesia twice in my life. Once for gallbladder surgery, once for an endoscopy where they were checking to see if I had an ulcer in my stomach. And I didn't notice anything.
It's the strangest feeling for me. It's like I was sitting in the chair, right, and they were about to like remove my wisdom teeth, and the next thing I know, I'm waking up on the couch. It's like it wasn't even like I fell asleep. It was just like literally I was fully cut like you're editing a video, right, and you just cut this out and then spliced it together because it's like
it's like your life.
I'm there in the chair and then like literally like a second later I'm like on a couch and like I
Yeah,
can't feel
it
my
was like
mouth. And I'm like,
both times they
whoa.
were like they do the whole like countdown from 10 starting now,
They
and you
didn't
go
even
like
do a
10.
countdown for me.
For
They were
both of mine,
just,
they had
I
me
was
do a
just like sitting
countdown.
there and they're like, I don't even think she said like, we're putting you under. It just happened at some point.
For mine, like there were both times they had me start counting down from 10, and I would go like 10, 9, 8, and I don't even think I'd even get to 7, and then I'd open my eyes and be in a completely different place. And like if you look at a clock, it's like 3 hours later.
Yeah, it's the
Or I guess the
strangest
first one was like
feeling.
2 hours, the second one was 3 hours, and it's just like it seriously feels like someone just cuts a couple hours out of your life.
Yeah,
Because
it's really
not
weird.
like sleeping. You
Yeah,
don't realize how aware you are sleeping.
Skull Gamer, I
until
think a
you
lot
have-
of people don't like going to the dentist.
Yeah, dentists suck.
Only had general anesthesia once. They put some random ass paste on my teeth, but didn't explain what it was or what to do with it. I had to call a friend and found out I couldn't eat or drink certain dentists are weird. Yeah, sometimes they do that with if you do the fluoride rinse, you're not supposed to eat for like an hour, half an hour to an hour after that. Mel's here. Hello, Mel.
Hey, Mel.
I got something to say. You know how someone will get your name wrong and you don't correct them right away, and it gets more and more awkward to correct them? I don't know why or when y'all started calling me she, but I'm a guy. It doesn't bother me. I just want to say something before 10 years go by without me saying anything. Okay.
Well, thank you for letting us know.
See, I
had no idea.
I did not know
because
I was going with what Echo had been.
Yeah, that's good to know.
You.
Thank you for telling me that.
Yes, then thanks for telling us.
Yeah,
Mel.
thank you for correcting.
Yeah, and sorry.
Good to know.
I really apologize if I've gotten that wrong.
I had no idea.
Yeah, pronouns are important,
Thank you for letting me know. Yeah,
pronouns are important.
Speak up on your pronouns.
Yes. Should chat also? Hey, if you.
Oh yeah, go for it. That would.
Anyone in chat, if you want to say what your pronouns are, feel free. But you don't have to. Some people may not want to, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I usually.
But if you want,
by default. I don't know when I started.
I usually say they by default because if I don't know, usually they is safe with everyone for the most part, unless you like particularly know, like if someone. Yeah. I don't think many. I've never really heard someone say, "Oh, don't call me they."
Yeah. Well, I've heard some like trans women be like she her, not they them or he
yeah
him.
I mean I'm sure
that's
I haven't had a personal experience with that.
Yeah, I haven't
I'm
either.
sure
I've heard a handful of trans women just say like to a general audience, like only refer to me as she her.
Did you want to talk a little bit about gender identity and mental health, since we're kind of on that?
Yeah. Oh, well, I feel like no. I feel like we should wait, and then I'm gonna pull one of my friends who has like more experience with like gender dysphoria.
Okay. And, so we'll save that for another night. But let's
be a good thing.
Okay, so Jung, mine are she, her. Blue menthol, he, him. Bot potato, they, them. They, them for Skull Gamer. You can also you can call me Scully. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. We'll try to call you Scully from now on. Create more she, her, or they, them. If I don't know someone else's gender pronouns, I use they, them. Yeah, I'm the same way. Also she. Yeah, Callan, I know you said she before.
Yeah.
Watched a movie getting my wisdom teeth removed. Waking up from it though definitely felt like waking up from a dream for me personally, which I now find interesting. Yeah, it's weird, you know. Hey, Betsy's here. She, her. Hi. I should know that one. I should know my wife's pronouns, right?
Cat though.
So I wanted to see Biblical Angels. I'm on. Okay, that's a lot of.
I like June.
A lot of drugs. And something shots induce psychosis. Oh, that's terrible. Yeah.
What psychosis?
Novocaine or whatever the dentists use, because it looks like you're on. So yeah, that looks like a lot of antipsychotics. Do you? Because I have bipolar disorder, and those sound like some drugs they usually treat bipolar disorder with. But yeah, I'm on some drugs as well. I think I heard some advice from one of my other mental health like not professional, but like streamer. And she doesn't like discuss medications like that she's taking because she doesn't want to say, hey, I'm on this medication and I'm on this medication, and have someone think like, oh, maybe I should try that, right? Because everyone's going to be different. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is like not get into the specifics of the medication I'm on.
You should always do it under
you could say like, okay, I'm on an antidepressant, or, you know, like I'll say like I'm on a mood stabilizer and an antipsychotic, right? But yeah. Also try not to pronounce my username. I don't mind if you do, but I think it'd be easier if you just call me June, Lee, or Mel. Okay, I'll try June. I feel like that's a pretty, that's not too hard.
Straightforward.
On the gender thing, before it goes to a different topic, I just got top surgery a week ago. Hey,
congrats!
Congratulations. That's an important step, right?
Yes, that's a huge thing.
That's huge.
Say, crap, I can't remember his name. I think he's in Florida. I was gonna ask if you went to the one doctor that like every trans guy and MB go to, and I think he's in Florida for top surgery.
Yeah, look at all this love. So proud, love in the chat for Blue. Yeah, that's great to hear. I hope you know, everything went well. I hope, you know, you're recovered okay and ready to move on to the next part of your life, right? But yeah, so we'll save gender identity and mental health for another night. One thing we did want to talk about, we talked about access to care, and we wanted to talk a little bit about access to guns. So
because this is a very huge deal, because whenever there's a mass shooting, and we've had 2 in the last week, whenever there's a mass shooting, mentally ill people are always used as a scapegoat to be like, we shouldn't fix the gun problem or like regulate any of this, we shouldn't change any of the laws, we just need to help people with mental issues, it's the mentally ill that are the problem, and we're 2 mentally ill people who have feelings, and it's like, then they never do anything to help, which is the most irritating part. It's like, anyway, yes, so that's a whole thing, and I feel like we both have experiences just relating around mental health and guns because we are mentally ill people living in America.
Yes.
You want to talk about your experiences first?
Sure. So growing up, I will say my dad was in the Navy, and he's a gun collector. You know, he's really big into guns, but you know, he taught me a lot about gun safety, which I think a lot of people don't learn about.
Your dad was great.
Yeah, he's definitely like, he makes safety like, you know, #1 priority. So it's like,
yeah, he took me out to meet for my 21st birthday because I don't really drink. He took me and Betsy and you, and who else was with us? It was
I think it was just us 3, right? My
but
mom.
Yeah, it was my first time out like shooting, and like he was really careful about it.
Well, yeah,
really good about like emphasizing safety and like proper procedures. So yes, your dad is great.
Yeah. So I will share with you guys, I'll talk about some of the lessons he taught me. So there's two things that you always should consider when handling firearms or when you see a gun. #1, every gun is loaded. All right. That's rule #1. Every gun is loaded. All right.
Even if it's not loaded, it's loaded.
Even if it's not loaded, it's loaded. Okay. And rule #2, never point the gun at a person, or basically never point it at something that you don't want to shoot. So don't point the gun at you. Don't point it at someone else. Like,
don't point it at your.
So if you just keep those 2 rules in mind, then, you know, that's like top gun safety.
Very good rules.
Yes. So that was kind of my upbringing. Now, My wife is completely different in that, like, her family never had, guns or anything like that. So she, like, her family's a little bit different when it comes to guns versus, so we just had different experiences, right? It's not like one was right, everyone was wrong. It's just, that was our upbringing, right? Everyone has a different childhood. So going back to, like, my mental issues, right? Like I said, I have bipolar disorder, and a few years ago I had a manic episode, and then last year I also had another one. And I've had depressive episodes. I've, had self-harm before. So the question is, like, should mentally ill people have guns? And for me personally, I shouldn't, right?
Yeah.
Because of the risk involved with having a firearm in the house. So like, we're probably not gonna have a gun, or, like, at least not for a while. If we do, we're not gonna keep any ammo in the house. That was something that my wife and I had talked about even before, I think, I had my mental breakdown or whatever. Was that, like, if we do have a gun, we'll keep it in a safe and we won't have ammo in the house. And then if we're gonna go shooting, then, we get the ammo and then we, go shooting or whatever. But like I said, for me, it's too big of a risk to have the gun in the house just because of my history with mental health, with struggling with suicidal thoughts and self-harm.
Oh, I should look up the percentages, because it's like the most common, like, death by gun in America is...
Yeah, for males, I believe firearm related suicide is the top cause of death for male suicide. For female, I believe it's poisoning, so, like, overdosing or that kind of thing.
Self-poisoning, things that tend to not damage.
Yeah. Hey, Eddie's here. Hey, what's up, Eddie?
Hey.
Welcome in. He's one of the OG World of Warcraft, but he doesn't play World of Warcraft anymore. And then we played RuneScape, but now he doesn't play RuneScape anymore either. He's a loser. Just kidding, you're not a loser. Welcome in.
So in the USA, gun-related deaths in high-income countries in the USA, there are about 6 suicide deaths per 100,000, according from 2010, and about 3.5 per 100,000. So, it's like 7 per 200,000, whatever. Homicide. So suicide is almost twice as more likely to happen than homicide.
Well, there you have it.
That's a lot.
Oh, and then why don't you were going to talk about your experience with a gun, or with your roommate, right?
Yeah, so this was a thing that we briefly talked about before. So the same thing, mental health issues. I've been diagnosed with depression. I've experienced suicidal ideation. Like, we've both experienced, like, suicidal thoughts in our lives. And, having suicidal thoughts and access to a gun is not a great thing.
No.
And so there was a point where one of my roommates was, she was very insistent on getting a gun, and it was very annoying, because it's one of those things where it's like, I want you to have your freedom to do your things, but also this affects me because it's, like, in my house, and it's like, it's going to be in the same space where I live, and that affects me, because, like, you are more likely to accidentally shoot me than to shoot a burglar, and little things like that. But, like, she was very like, it's my right, I'm going to get a gun, but I want you to feel safe. I want you to, like, I will, to her credit, I will give her that. She was willing to work within our guidelines. But she was like, I'm going to get a gun. What can I do to make you feel safe? And this was a thing that she had offered to the other people in the household. And like one person's was like, you have to go to a gun course and do a certain amount of hours of like, you have to know how to use the thing. If you're gonna do it, you have to go through a course and like properly get a license and all this other stuff. And so she was like, okay, I'm willing to do that. And with me, I was like, if you're gonna get a gun, you have to get a safe, because I can't have access to it because I've been diagnosed with depression. And if I'm going through like suicidal ideation or suicidal phase, you need to not, like, it has to be in a place where I can't just go into your room and take it from you, or like take it while you're at work or something.
Right. Has to be like secured.
Yeah, it has to be in a secured place where only you can access it. Not just in case of like people stealing it, but just in case like I am having like mental issues, or like I'm going through like a mental health episode. And she was kind of like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And it was like, yeah, like you're bringing a gun into a house with a suicidal person. That's not a good combo. That's not good. So if you're gonna do
at least she talked to you about it before just doing it, because I know a lot of people that are just impulsive and I'm gonna go get a gun, and like at least she had the courtesy to talk about it. Now, did she actually end up getting one, or?
Yeah, but it was like on the upside. It was more for. So she says like it's kind of for health or for what is it, like home protection, but it's more so as like a hobby thing, which I can understand a lot more, because it's like I feel like having a gun is more mental security than actual security. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like just
safer than it actually makes you. I mean, technically makes the house less safe.
Technically, yeah. But
like if you actually look into the statistics of it, it's more dangerous.
But if you're talking home security, I think an alarm system is probably a safer alternative.
A dog is safer than
a dog, yeah, or both.
Yeah, get an alarm system and a gun, or an alarm system and a dog. Yeah, way more useful than getting a gun.
Okay, Callan, thanks for stopping by. Have a good night, and again, congrats on the FE. Really glad that you got that and you shared that with us.
So like that whole thing was like kind of a mess. Oh gosh, what were we just saying before that? Yeah, so like it's in terms of like home security, it's a more like make you feel safe kind of thing, which I totally like understand. Like it can make you feel safer. Yeah. And I'm sure that in some households it actually is safer, like the ones out in the country, because then you have to deal with like bears and
animals. And then it's kind of a different.
Yeah, it's very
a little different. Versus like we're in the city, right?
The city, a gun's not going to stop a burglar. I mean, like it might help, but a dog and a security.
The cases are probably pretty rare. Where
versus like in the country, my like family up in the middle of the woods in Washington, like there are times where they would be like screwed if they didn't have guns. Like I think I mentioned this at some point, but like there was a point where my uncle like went, I think we were driving to like church or something somewhere in town, and he didn't have anything because it was like, okay, I'm not going to bring this because I don't need this. And we almost hit a deer. And I remember, like it smacked into the side of the car. Like there was like this massive hill down to the road, and it came jumping out and smacked into the side of the car. It dent the car. And like he was like, oh crap, did it get up? Did it go? And we were like, looking back, and it like stood up and like hobbled off. It broke a chunk off of its antler. It was kind of crazy. But we were like, yeah, he took off. And I remember my uncle saying like, oh, I'm so glad that it got up, because I don't have my gun on me. I wouldn't be able to like do anything. And I was like, holy crap, yeah. Like he was like, I wouldn't be able to put it down. And I was just like, that's a thing that I don't have to experience here.
I remember of my dad telling stories, because he grew up in Texas. He's from Texas, and he told me stories of when he was like in, I think, high school, and they were gonna go hunting after school. So he would bring his rifle like in the back of his truck to school, and then like drop their guns off at the principal's office, and then pick them up after school, and then go home hunting. And that was just like a normal thing back in 50s or 60s or whenever. In Texas. So
I'm sure
wow, that's a little different. Yeah, it was rural Texas too.
Yeah, it's funny how different like rural and urban settings are, because they really are different. But like, yeah, there's been instances where like there's been a bear on the property, and it's like getting ready to like kill one of the dogs, and they have to do something about it because otherwise, like, there's a bear.
Right.
And it's like that's not something I'm ever gonna have to deal with here. Oh, I saw a coyote today. That was really cool. They like went in that little ditch over by the dog park area.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was kind of funny because Ben did that like dog thing that he does when he sees something moving, and I looked over just in time to see it like run back behind the houses.
Wow.
But yeah, I feel like I never see them in the city limits. But rattlesnakes is another one where it's like it's way safer to kill it with a gun than a shovel.
Yep, and or just like leave it alone. Like,
yeah,
run away.
But like if it's
because if you get bit, you might have to pay $150,000 for your medical bill. Circling back to the American healthcare system.
Yeah. Oh, did you hear the thing about how they're stopping? They're not producing antivenom anymore.
Oh, they're not.
Yeah, because it doesn't make money.
Let's get to some of these comments here.
Yeah, for that.
So biblical angels. I was raised around lots of guns. Father ex-vet, gun collector, also mentally ill. I was trained as a child too, and I gave my guns to my sister after too many episodes, and she keeps them in her family's gun safe 2 states away. Well, that is good that you were able to recognize, you know, the risk of having a gun in your household, and that you're able to take action to, you know, remove that risk from your life. So that's, you know, I'm glad that you were able to come to that conclusion. Because yeah, it's definitely, you know, safer. But in most cases, it's safer to actually not have a gun. Yeah, Bob Potato, guns are just scary. I understand why people have them, but no one should need one, especially those assault rifles. Yeah, I mean, fully automatic, like, do you really need a full auto gun, right? The culture around guns in America is so frustrating. I hate how we have normalized having semi-automatic weapons and weapon arsenals like Bob Potato said. Yeah.
If you have something called an assault rifle, that just... we don't need that. Like, it's not good for hunting. It's not, there's no real purpose. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like assault weapons should be banned. That I feel like there's no one needs.
I don't know if they should outright be banned, but I do think there should be more restrictions on being able to purchase or obtain a gun, especially like automatic weapons. I think sorry, go ahead.
It would be nice if they were treated more like vehicles, where it's like you have to undergo
you need a license.
You have to get a license. Right? You have to undergo a written test that you like probably have to study for. That's relatively easy to pass, but you have to pass it. And a physical test where you actually have to prove that you can use the thing that you're saying you know, and a certain amount of hours to like practice with it. And it's like,
yeah, it's like
all the time for cars. Why not do it with guns?
I think it's in Switzerland. They have a thing where I just want to talk about this real quick because unlike the US, Switzerland has like mandatory military service for men. And so like all men that are between a certain age, I think it's 18 to 30 or whatever, they give them like a pistol or a rifle and train them how to use it. And then after they're out of the service, they can, I think, either keep their weapons or give them back. So literally every like male in Switzerland who's like, you know, over 18 and fit for military service knows how to use, you know, a gun. So they're trained on how to use it, on the safe practices. And I just thought that was interesting, like compared to America, where like literally anyone can get a gun with no, I mean, they are supposed to do background checks, but all those do are just, all they do is just see if you're like a felon. Like if you've
the gun loophole, which people have been trying to close this for years, where if you buy it, if you're buying a gun from a gun show, you don't have to do a background check.
Really?
Because the gun
also, and it depends on the state that you're in too. Like in Arizona, like they have what's called private sales. So anyone, like I could sell you a gun and say, hey, I'm gonna sell you a gun, and as long as I know like you're over, I think it's 18 or 21, because that's so 18 for rifles, 21 for handguns. As long as I know you're over that, it's a legal sale. Like I can sell you a gun, like that's a thing. And for me, what I think that at the bare minimum, we should raise the minimum age for a firearm to 21 for rifles.
I don't mind it too much for rifles because
because I'm thinking of school shootings, right?
Isn't the weapon of choice for school shootings still AR-15 or like the automatic rifles?
Yeah, I'm saying those should get raised to age 21.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying because right now the age is 18. So literally a senior in high school.
Just like hunting rifles. I wasn't thinking I completely forgot. In my brain, those are just like two separate things, but you're right. They're technically both rifles.
Yeah, I'm talking even fully automatic, AR-15, which the AR-15 has been used in pretty much every mass shooting. I think the minimum age should be 21 because
I think that's fair. I think for automatic,
you can buy an automatic rifle before people trust you to drink.
Yeah, I can understand the smaller hunting rifles that are just the ones that have 2 bullets, or what is it? Am I imagining that correctly? Maybe I don't know.
Are you thinking single shot hunting rifles?
Just like the baby ones, which I think is what it was originally intended for.
Yeah, it's made more for people that are, in a rural environment that might need it for protection or for hunting, but
yeah, like a basic hunting rifle.
Oh,
see, I understand a 6-year-old having that. I feel like I'm okay with that, but I definitely agree that automatic weapons should not be in the hands of people so young.
Yeah. Fingerprint recognition on guns. So that reminds me, have any of you seen the anime called Psycho Pass? Have you heard of that?
No.
I haven't seen too much of it, but it's interesting. It's about basically the weapons.
So lever action rifles, or how does bolt action work?
Bolt action is you can feed it. It's a single shot. You have to fire and then you pull the bolt and then that reloads another one. But yeah, Psychopaths, it's they basically the guns that they have are only used by, I think, criminals or people that are mentally unstable or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they're basically you can only use it it's tied to your biometrics or whatever, and everyone has what's called a Psychopath, which is how mentally stable you are basically. And the gun will only be fired at somebody if their Psychopath is over a certain threshold or something.
Oh.
So you could only use it to they can only use it to kill people who are unstable. Extremely mentally unstable, that are have hostages or whatever. It's an interesting concept. Now I haven't watched too much of it, but that's what I thought of when you were talking about fingerprint recognition for the guns.
That's interesting.
But yeah, exactly. June, I feel like you should be able to get a gun a year or two after you get your right to drink, because then you have experience with drinking. You're less likely to drunkenly shoot someone. Yeah, I mean that's fair, but I mean it is for handguns. It's the same age right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mel, you can't even rent a car until you're 25. At least in most places, it's like that. Yeah, don't understand the logic behind age laws sometimes. Yeah, it's weird, but
yeah, I can understand. I feel like the undebatable thing is that it needs change. The way it is now.
Yeah, if you look at countries like Australia, so I believe, when was it? I think it was
Was it in the
I
2000s?
think it was like in the 90s, right? They had.
I'm eating a lemon.
I don't remember. If someone can find the info on that, the last like mass shooting in Australia, basically they passed some like gun regulations that basically just made it like if you had a gun,
1996.
96. Okay. Yeah, in the 90s. It was like the worst mass shooting they've ever had. All right. And what they did is they passed some regulations so that if you had a gun, you could apply for you would basically need a permit to have one. So if you were a hunter, if you lived in the country, if you needed it, then you can apply for a permit and you can keep it.
Okay. Australia, I can understand.
I can understand why you would need a gun in Australia, right? But they passed just a little bit more regulation, and I'm pretty sure they haven't had a major mass shooting since then. Versus the U.S. where
buyback program, so it was like get a license or sell it to us. Those are your options.
Mm-hmm.
And it like fixed all of their problems.
And yeah, but the problem I think with the U.S. is that it's in the Constitution, but it's so dumb because people are like, you can't take away my guns because it's my Second Amendment right, and it's like, well, there's things called amendments that they pass that they're like, you can't change it because it's in the Constitution. Well, literally, amendments like they add to the Constitution to change things.
People there were people who like black people were considered property, and it's
like slavery was still a thing when the Constitution was written. So like things change.
Amendments to fix that.
I mean, yeah, it's a
Constitution that needs to be amended, and we haven't yet. But more specifically, back to the idea of like how it connects to us as mentally ill people, and how a lot of the time we're used as scapegoats for why we should do nothing.
That's an interesting article. Biblical Angels. Possession of firearms by people with mental illness. Okay.
Oh, I'm curious.
Wow. Let's
nice though.
see.
There's actually like some things. And
if you guys click that link, you can follow along. So depending on what state you're in,
specifically, Arizona prohibits possession of a firearm by any person who has been found to constitute a danger to himself or herself, or others pursuant to court order under whatever that number is, and whose right to possess a firearm has not been restored.
So that's like if they're like a felon or
That's kind of cool. I'm kind of glad that they have that, but also
I'd have to look at what that means. The pursuant to court order under whatever that is.
It kind of sounds like you can take away someone's gun if you like pursue a court order in this.
Okay.
Like the enforcement of that is like without any kind of like proper background check system in place. I could go buy a gun, even if that is law in Arizona, and I'm like legally not allowed to have it. I'm allowed to buy one. Like no, there's nothing in place to stop me from purchasing one. If I was going through like an extended, like depressive episode.
Right. Let's look at this. So the Constitution was meant to be amended as time goes on. A gun would never protect you against the government today compared to back then. That's true. You gotta. And I'll get to this in a second. Scully, automatic weapons didn't exist in the 1700s. The right to bear arms referred to rifles and not semi-automatic weapons. That's very true. Guns at the time
the weapons we have now.
The guns at the time that the Constitution was written, if you got shot with it, you weren't always gonna die. They weren't all technically lethal weapons. And they weren't. You couldn't use one to do a mass shooting because you literally would load the rifle. It would take like a minute to reload,
pack gunpowder, and then pack the like what bullets, I guess, the firearms, whatever. You have to like it wasn't everything was different.
Yeah.
And even the pieces, this is another thing that like parts of guns weren't interchangeable. So like if something like broke off your gun, you couldn't like just go up to a dead body in the middle of a war and pull something off of someone else's gun and attach it. That wasn't a thing. They were like not manufactured, but they were made as whole pieces.
Well, they were manufactured also.
Well, I think it was like was it the Civil War that created manufacturing like
So I'm not too savvy on gun history, but I do believe at some point they became more modular so that the parts were interchangeable.
Like
and
I feel like
I think it was the I think it might have been a little bit before, like in the 1800s.
I think you're right.
But yeah, what you gotta remember, guys, is that when they wrote the Constitution, they were like they had just recovered from a war with England of fighting like tyranny, and so because of the political times and this new nation, like they wanted to include in the amendments that, you know, okay, if we have, you know, a ruler we don't like or whatever, we want to be able to protect ourselves, and that's why they added, you know, the Second Amendment. But these days, like, you're not going to use a gun to like overthrow the government. Like they have tanks and jet fighters. Like
we are armed to the teeth.
Hey, what's up, Harry? Harry is in the house. Been a little while, but welcome back. Yeah, we're talking about should mentally ill people have guns, and we were just now discussing about like the Second Amendment and about mass shootings and that because there was a mass shooting in, was it Boulder?
There was
earlier this week.
One in Atlanta.
And
so there was an incel who killed I think it was 8. It was either 8 people were injured. No, 8 people were killed and 1 person was injured, or 7 people were killed and 1 person was injured. But it was 3 different massage parlors, and it was like 8. I'm pretty sure it was 8 Asian women were attacked. And it's very messed up. And then in Boulder, it was a shooting at a gas station. And 1 police officer was murdered. I know that happened.
Yeah. And a thing with that, I saw someone tweet about it that like literally 10 days before that shooting, like they had
10 dead.
So 10 days before that shooting, they had rejected because of, I think, mostly lobbying by the NRA, they rejected a thing to ban was it like automatic or semi-automatic weapons in Boulder?
I thought that was in it was like March 15th, but I thought that was 2019, and that's when he bought the gun.
Yeah, it was 6 days after that he bought the gun. I thought that was recently. Was that actually last year?
I thought it happened either last year or the year before that was rejected. That they were essentially like, hey, let's fix here, have a gun reform, and they were like, no. And then 6 days after that is when this person who just killed
No. He got the assault weapon 6 days before the shooting.
Did he? Oh,
yeah.
Well then I might have my dates wrong.
And I want to say it was 10 days before the shooting that they had repealed, or I think it was the court had rejected. That's what it was. So Scully is saying, yeah, Boulder banned semi-automatic guns in 2018, and 10 days ago they removed the ban. And then 6 days ago he bought it. Yeah. Okay. City banned it, but a judge overruled it 10 days before the shooting, and then he got the gun 6 days before the shooting.
There we go.
So yeah, so that's how that was. So literally, like, I mean the one of the guy on Twitter was like, you know, the NRA are pretty much responsible
NRA still even
for
going?
this. Yeah,
Because
of course.
they had a huge internal scandal where it was like they weren't making enough money to function.
No, they're definitely still a thing. But yeah, I think there should be more regulation, especially for people like, for example, yeah, the NRA does have blood on their hands. There are, for example, if you are a senior in high school,
Just the leaders of the NRA, they had to step down.
Oh, okay. But say you're a senior in high school who's been bullied, a victim of bullying, and has mental issues. You know, I know definitely when I was in high school, I had some mental issues, right? You can go to a gun store and get a gun and then go to school the next day and, you know, do a shooting. Like, I think there should be more like background check into an individual's like mental stability before you're able to purchase a gun, right?
Yeah. Anything that can. The other thing is like I feel like anything that could.
Or you raise the age.
Yeah.
You raise the age for rifles to 21.
Access to until you're 21. So anything like basically anything automatic, anything that isn't like a pump action rifle for hunting, an 18-year-old should not have access to.
Right.
I don't know. Personally, and you know, for pretty much every other country or every other first world country. How well? I mean, I guess
not every, but there are a good number of countries that
those are kind of all over the place.
The guns are banned or illegal. Japan, for example.
Yeah, they're
super banned in Japan. Even I found this out recently. Even like swords are banned in Japan. You can have one, but you have to like apply to like a special, and you can't just like carry one on the street. Like things like that. Which I thought was a little interesting. And I'm not sure how. I think we have a couple people here from the UK. I'm not sure how gun laws are there, but I'm pretty sure they're illegal, right?
Can't carry them for sure, because I remember there was a point where I had like something that I usually do, not usually, but sometimes when I'm just like walking alone, is I'll carry like a knife or like some kind of knife in my boot or something in a pocket somewhere, just for like emergencies. They're also just kind of useful to have, like a pocket knife. And there was a point where I had like pulled it out to cut off a tag, and my friend was like, "You can't have that," because like the UK has a lot of problem with stabbing, so it's like,
oh really?
Can't carry like any weapons in public. And I was like, I had no idea. Oops.
Yeah, that's
really useful for like cutting tags and stuff, or just like opening packages or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. But you have to get a collector's status or license for swords. That's what I meant. Like you can't, because I like Japan, and I was like, hey, if I go to Japan, like, could you just like buy like a katana? But like you can't. I think probably the best way it would be is if they have like an online thing, like buy it and like have them ship it back, because you can't just like go to, you know, they don't really have like sword shops where you just go buy a sword. Like you need like a permit or something to even have it.
I feel like the only places in the United States that I know of that you can get one like at a store kind of thing is at like events, things like the state fair or the county fair.
Or there's literally that place in the mall that
place does have swords.
Yeah, what's that mall? Arizona Mills.
Yeah, it's like
it's like some just like weird like weapon. It's like it's called like extreme like something.
You're talking about the place with the paper cutouts, right?
Yeah.
It's such a weird store. Like, if you happen to be in Arizona, definitely go there. Not recently, because like, you know, pandemic, but eventually if you're vaccinated, maybe. It's like it's super crazy because like they've just got these massive like cutouts of like cardboard cutouts from like movies and stuff, and then you go in and it's like switchblades and butterfly knives and like all these like
Extreme lifestyle. That's what it's called.
Lifestyle. Yeah,
Extreme.
they have a bunch of crazy stuff in there.
Yeah,
it's really
their website, it says anime, video game replicas, movie memorabilia, knives, martial arts, self-defense, and so much more.
I feel like a person from the early 2000s in a fedora hat would love this store.
Yeah,
like a nerdy guy who's not very self-aware and probably not super clean, like maybe he needs a shower and is wearing a fedora hat and has like lots of stubble, would love this.
Maybe I can here, let me see if I can show you guys real quick their storefront. Let's see.
Yeah, hop over.
Hold on, I gotta turn my where's the thing? Here's the thing. Okay, here's like their
Swap meets and farmers markets is another really good
here's
one.
their storefront. So they just have like cardboard cutouts of like stuff, and then these are like over here, these are all like swords. This is a terrible image. Look how low res this is, first of all. Like it's all like pixelated, but yeah, it's a
fascinating store though. I'm amazed. Like it's a fun place to go around and like poke at things and just like have a look at what they've got. They had like last time they had like metal fidget spinners.
Oh yeah, I remember.
How long it's been since I've been in there. I don't know if they still do.
I don't know how long it's been since I used a fidget spinner.
Maybe it was like a couple days ago, because so my older sister's girlfriend works with like neurodivergent kids, and so she has a bunch of like little like toys and fidget things, and so she had fidget spinners, and so I was playing with them.
Yeah, weeb store. Yeah, pretty much. I do have a katana that I got from eBay.
You got one right behind you.
Huh? Yeah, it's right here. You can see the handle right here. I had a phase. And so I got it from eBay though. I can show you guys if you want. It's got some like orchid design on it right here, because I guess orchids were like a symbol for samurai, because they were like hard to grow or something, or they're only in certain
orchids are really
armed and dangerous. But yeah, so it's got like a little orchid design, and then got the sword in there. So yeah, that's my katana.
Yeah, orchids are one of the most difficult things to grow.
Sorry, I'll show you guys the hilt too. You can see this is like it's like a black and gold orchid design.
Ooh.
So yeah.
Okay. Orchids are one of the most difficult things to grow, and that's why like real vanilla extract is so incredibly expensive, because in order to get vanilla beans, you have to raise an orchid plant to fruition. Like,
oh really? To get a vanilla bean?
Yeah, to its seed phase, which is really difficult because orchids are extremely temperamental.
They're hard to grow. And like the thing is, in Japan, they were like usually like really hard to get to. Like they'd be in places where it's like hard to get to. So the samurai would like, push themselves to like collect them or whatever. So it became like a symbol.
That makes sense. They require a very specific humidity, a very specific temperature, and a very specific
pH,
soil moisture.
Also, are they like acidic or something?
Surprised if
because I remember one time I bought orchid food and it said for orchids or acid-loving plants. I was thinking, these plants tripping on LSD or something?
Orchid preferred soil. Depending on the type of orchid, they can be happy growing in peat moss, fir bark, dried fern, blah, blah, blah. Oh wow, there's like different things. Yeah, they're so picky. Like, if you breathe on them long, they will die.
Artemis, I'm an acid-loving plant.
Yeah, orchids,
nice.
Orchids are a lot. I would love to be a good enough gardener to grow an orchid, but probably never will.
Yeah,
If I
they're
ever do it,
expensive too.
yeah, they're very expensive. They're very expensive. They're very hard to keep alive.
But yeah, get a cut out of Jason Momoa and a katana. Yeah, pretty much. Artemis, do you know that store I'm talking about at Arizona Mills? It's called Extreme Lifestyle with all the cardboard cutouts and weapons. That's what we've been talking about. I don't know if you just got here or if you've been listening, but
yeah, we were talking about mental health and access to guns and how apparently there are a lot of laws in place, but there's no infrastructure to stop mentally ill people like us from walking in and buying a gun.
Yeah.
And that falls down to more of a legal thing.
Oh, you know that? Nice.
More of a problem with capitalism.
Yep. So we've been talking about should mentally ill people have guns? And we kind of went over our experiences.
Yeah, like because we both had like personal interactions and experiences where it's like I don't want to. It's unsafe for me specifically, given like how my mental health manifests. There are certain points at which I know it would be incredibly unsafe for me to have access to a gun.
Yep. Second Amendment says nothing about mental state. You're not wrong.
Yep.
100% correct right there. And it, like, you think about it too, like back in the 1700s, like mental health was not really a thing back then.
I feel like
not even in like the 1800s. Like it wasn't until probably the 1900s that, I mean, yeah, obviously people still had mental issues, but just like calling someone, oh, you have bipolar disorder or like you have schizophrenia.
I feel like that's where stories of like possession come from. Like people go
be like, oh, you have a demon.
Yeah.
Well, we gotta.
Like, why is this person acting so strange? I don't understand. It must be demons. I'm sure that to a degree.
They call them witches.
Yes. Yeah. Or like people going into like certain psychosis, being like able to tell the future and stuff like that. Yeah, they call them.
So mental. It wasn't a thing. They call them witches. Witches. She's a witch. Burn her.
A witch. If she was a duck.
if a witch, if she weighs more than a duck, then
it's like,
wait, no. If she floats, then she weighs more than a duck.
Well, how does it go?
I know. I'm trying to remember it.
I'm trying to remember the logic behind it. It's like if a duck floats.
What else floats in water? And they're like churches, cherries, and then he was like, I got better. Such a great movie.
Oh, so great. Yeah, if anyone knows that quote, please put it. 'Cause it's fantastic, and I want to know logic because it's something like if she's lighter than a duck.
No, if she's lighter. No, okay, because witches burn, but wood also burns, and wood floats in water, but so do ducks. So if she weighs more than a duck, wait, what was it?
It's like
if she weighs more than a duck, then
she must be a witch. But the thing isn't the scale broken, so it.
Yeah, and then it shows the duck weighs more than her, so then she like gets burned.
I think they just like carry her away, and they're like, oh, she's a witch.
If she floats, she's a thought. If she drowns, she's a queen.
If she floats, wait.
You trying too hard? Probably.
If she floats like a duck. Monty Python.
Should we just play it? Should I just play the scene?
Yeah, play it, because I'm actually like, I want to see this scene. Yeah, pull it up. Like, if you type like I found the script, but I would just play the.
Yeah, I'm sure I can just find it here.
Like I type.
Here we go. You guys ready for this? All right, hold on. Let me switch it. Yeah, that's okay. That's it.
It's if she weighs the same as a duck.
Yeah, let me switch back. Okay. Oh, get the music going. Hey, what's up, Star Killer?
I forgot how great that clip is.
Welcome in. There's a thing I saw about how the myths of changelings might have come from autistic children. A child suddenly changing behavior as a toddler, losing ability to speak, acting odd or inhuman. Interesting.
That makes sense. I wouldn't be
make
surprised.
sense. Making some sense over there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It would be very interesting.
What if you're just a fat duck?
Then you must be made of wood.
I mean, I think fat ducks float too.
Oh yeah, fat ducks do float.
If anything, probably the fatter ones
Float
maybe
better?
float better, because isn't isn't fat like pretty? Does fat floats, doesn't it? Or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Does it?
I think it does, because this is an annoying. I think it's easier for me to float when I weigh more. Is that, or maybe I'm.
Well, the thing is, also you gotta look at displacement, because it's like a boat, right? Obviously, is more dense.
Boat if it's wide enough. You can make a concrete boat if it's wide enough.
Yeah, well, that was the thing in college, was a concrete canoe. I didn't do that, but that was a civil engineering contest they had. Oh, so Starkiller says yes, which is why gorillas sink, lack of fat. Okay, there we go. I know my fat floats. Okay, we're right there. We're right.
Bones are hollow.
I know my.
And that's why they don't weigh anything.
I know my dad says he always sinks. Although, because he has a negative buoyancy or something. But he's always been kind of a big guy, so I don't know. Yeah, fat floats and more surface area. Yeah, fat is less dense than muscle. Oh, and also, yeah, Mel, fat's less dense than water. Okay. So technically, if you're fatter, then
you're gonna float better.
You're gonna float better, right? Because you have more area, so you have more displacement, and you have more fat, but you also weigh more.
This is such a like.
This is like a.
I was like, is a Tamagotchi a console?
Should I change? I'm gonna change the title.
Better skinny duck.
Does fat float? We kind of got off our topic of guns, and now we're just talking about
Monty Python
floating Monty Python stuff.
Yeah, I think that a fat duck will float better than a thin duck. That's my hypothesis. Probably.
I think so too. But I don't know, because
untested hypotheses.
Hypotenuse.
Untested.
I wish I were high on hypotenuse. Have you seen that Key and Peele skit?
No, I don't think so. Which
the high on hypotenuse.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Someone steals another person's joke.
Yeah. And they like all things, and then he gets like awards and stuff.
Yeah. Like,
I love Key and Peele. They're so funny.
They're great.
I wanted.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna read. I wanted to ask how we got to this, but I didn't want the conversation about fat ducks to stop. Yeah.
It's a good question.
Because we were talking about guns, and then we were talking about in the olden days about mental issues, about witches, about burning witches, which naturally went to the Monty Python thing about witches and ducks. And then someone said, well, fat duck float. And that's how we got here.
Yeah, now we're talking about if fat floats.
Yeah, so a fatter duck would float better because even though it weighs more, its average density is lower. So I think, so a fat duck would float more, but it would also probably fly less, right? Because it's heavier and it has the same amount of lift or wingspan as a normal duck, but it has more weight, so it's going to be harder to fly, right?
That makes me wonder if it would also fish better too, because diving down, sinking would be easier.
No, if it's fat, it floats better. So sinking, it would be more buoyant, which makes diving harder.
Pros and
I'm just going to
cons.
change it to fat ducks.
Yeah.
Fat ducks? Question mark?
Fat ducks, do they float? Let's find out.
I like just fat ducks. Fat
like
ducks?
You know what? That sounds like a Cards Against Humanity, like trump card.
It could be, yeah. Oh man, have you guys played? We just started playing this game recently called Joking Hazard.
Oh, I love Joking Hazard.
Has anyone else here played that? That's so fun. It's like Cards Against Humanity, but you make a comic, and it's from Cyanide and Happiness. Yeah.
Yeah. They're cool.
What about a fat African swallow? Well, okay, you're saying African, not European swallow, right? It depends. No. It depends if it's laden or unladen, right? If it's an unladen swallow, then I believe it could carry coconuts. But was that African or European?
Do you remember Cha-Cha?
Cha-Cha? Like
I was in middle school.
The asking service?
Before,
did you know?
Like, internet was a thing.
Did you know that I once worked for Cha-Cha?
You did Cha-Cha stuff? That's funny.
I didn't. It
for
was
all you youngins out there. Before you could get before like you could do internet stuff on your phone, when you could only text and call with your phone, there used to be a service called Cha-Cha where you could text Cha-Cha and they would answer things, and it was essentially just like people sitting at computers, and you would text them, and you would send them a question, and then the person would respond back with an answer. So it was like a prehistoric version of Googling things.
Yeah.
Very like clever for the time.
You would literally like text the service, right? And did it cost money?
I think it did.
I think it was like 10 cents or something.
It was like a amount of money.
Or like a cent or something. And I remember, yeah, you would literally text them a question, blah blah blah, and then someone would reply to you with the answer.
There was a point. Yeah. So there was
sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay, so in middle school on Cha-Cha, there was a point where like me and some friends, one of my friends texted Cha-Cha, like, what is the airspeed velocity of a laden swallow? And they responded, African or European.
Nice.
I love it when you text them references and they understood them.
And they get it. Sometimes they don't.
They don't know. They try to find the answer for you.
Yeah, this is like ancient internet. Like before the internet, like Google was really a big, I mean, Google certainly existed, but before smartphones were a thing, certainly.
Was the iPhone the first smartphone?
Was what?
Was the iPhone the first smartphone?
No, I don't think so. There were
definitely before the iPhone.
I don't think. I mean, I could be wrong, but I thought there was. What came first, guys? iPhone, or Android? I gotta Google it now. Let's ask Cha-Cha. Hold on. Hey, Cha-Cha. Wait, what do you mean this website doesn't exist?
That would be a hilarious reference to name your like Siri or your Alexa.
Call it Cha-Cha.
Yeah.
I wonder, is it even still a thing?
I don't think so.
I think it's.
There's no way. There's no way Cha-Cha is still a thing.
Hold on. Yep. Okay. On December 2016, Cha-Cha shut down operations due to its declining ad revenue, which left it unable to service its debt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cha-Cha's not a thing. But I worked for Cha-Cha. I was going to talk about that a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because I believe I was in high school, and like anyone could apply to it. And I became what's called like a vetter. And basically I would vet questions. So they would, and you have to do a certain number like per minute or something. Mm-hmm. And so like
stream, I just want to make sure
we should be.
Okay, cool.
Are we not?
I think we are. Go ahead.
Oh.
I was just making sure because I couldn't see it on the thing.
Oh, there. I updated it. Did I not have just chatting in this whole time, guys?
What was it before?
I think I left it blank.
Oh, okay. Well, cool. That explains why I couldn't find it. Well, now we're just chatting. Fat ducks. Continue.
Okay. Well, whoops. Wow, that would have been guys, has it been just chatting this whole time? Can someone make sure I'm not a complete idiot? And let me know if you saw it say just chatting or if it was just blank. Because I think you have to set a category. Okay, anyway.
Have to set a category, I'm pretty sure.
For me, it just says your username. Okay, refresh, guys. Refresh. And it should have... Gosh, I'm so dumb. I literally did not set a category.
So you're good.
So I've just been streaming Bailey Cream for the past 2 hours. Well, thank you guys for finding me.
Thanks for hanging out.
But yeah, I changed it to just chatting now. I don't know. Maybe I did it before. Yeah, the categories, those are tags. Those are different. You can put tags onto it, but I wasn't sure if okay, anyway, back to Cha-Cha.
Explain. Okay, so you actually worked for Cha-Cha? And you were like
now, I'll say I worked for them. I did not make any money from them, but I worked for them.
Oh, weird for them.
No. I got a position, but but it was like I made such little money that it was not worth it. Like literally, so what they would do is this music sounds a little loud. Turn down a bit. Basically they would send questions, right? And I would look at the questions and they would give like predetermined responses. And so like, because they have like, you know, things that might answer the question. And so you could see a question and immediately just pick a response for it from like their preset ones. Or you could like pick a response and like, but update it a little bit. Or you could just like type a new response. And that was basically what I did is like, they would send me a question and then I would do that. And this was all through the website. It wasn't like, you know, on my phone or anything. And I think it's like, I made like 10 cents an hour or something.
Wow.
It was such little money, but it's like, I wanted to try because like, hey, I can make money. Like I'm in high school. Like I had no money. I'm like, oh, let's make some money. And like at the end of the day, I think, you know, I made like $1. I'm like, this is shit. So there were different positions. You could like, I was in the lowest one and you could like get promoted to one that, you know, makes a little more money, but
maybe this is just my memory going wrong because once again this was like
15 years ago. About
at least years ago. Yeah,
it said they started in 2006, so yeah,
so like about 15 years ago. So you could thank them and it would like tip them because it would count as like a new question, and so they could just respond and say like you're welcome, and that would count as an answer.
Oh,
so that was the thing that like me and my friends used to do. If like we if we texted them like a funny question, they responded with like a funny answer or a reference answer, we would just say like thank you, and they'd say you're welcome, and it's like then they take that like little like charge as an extra question, and it's like cool, it's like tipping them. But yeah. Oh my gosh, I haven't thought about Cha-Cha in like a decade.
Yeah, I literally forgot. I literally have not thought of Cha-Cha in probably 10 years, and I forgot that I even worked for them until you said that, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and the only reason I remember it is because we texted Cha-Cha what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow, and because Betsy asked like, or because you two were doing the like African or European thing.
Yeah. Wait, biblical. So supposing 2 swallows carried a first generation blackberry together.
Cha-Cha. It's fantastic.
It was running Android version 0.5 Coconut.
Coconut OS.
I don't know. Was BlackBerry was that Android? Or did they have their own OS?
I'm so curious. I'm gonna look this up.
Don't even
now.
remember.
What was the
Do I remember calling 411? I don't think I ever called 411.
That sounds really familiar. It was so the first smartphone created by IBM was invented in 1992 and released in 1994, which I feel like I wouldn't count that one. It's like counting the internet as being created in like the 40s.
Yeah, which
it wasn't available for public access until 1991.
I want to look now. Did iPhone or Android come first?
That's a better question.
Okay, apparently Android OS did come before iOS or iPhone, but it wasn't called that and was in a rudimentary form. Okay, furthermore, the first true Android device, the HTC Dream G1, came almost 1 year after the release of the iPhone. So I guess iPhone was really like the first smartphone then.
So what year was that?
Let's see if they say. Oh, here we go. Ooh. There's this nice little timeline from here. I'll send you guys this website.
Yeah.
You guys can oh god, I think the link broke. But hold on, let me see if I can just get the thing.
The original Apple iPhone.
Here we go. I got there's the good link.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at. So it looks like 2008.
That's kind of what I'm seeing.
No, 2007.
Late 2000s.
Okay, so the iPhone came out June 29, 2007. The iPhone officially goes on sale. It beats Google's first Android phone to market by more than a year. So the first Android came out October 2008. Oh, that one still worked for you? Okay. I wasn't sure, so I put the other one too. Yeah, so 2007.
Wait, I want to see this.
So yeah, literally 2006 was before smartphones. Isn't that crazy to think about? I can't
believe it's late 2000s. I would have thought it was like early 2000s.
I was a freshman in high school before smartphones existed. That brings me to something I learned the other day that I wanted to talk about, but I need to find where I saw it real quick. Of how like our generation nice Mario death is kind of unique. Like people who were born between like I think it said like between like 1985 and 1995 basically like evolved with the technology.
Wait, what did?
Like the generation from 1985 to 1995 like grew up with the technology evolving.
No,
versus like people born before then where like the technology kind of came out like after their development. We're the only ones who like developed with it, and people who are born now
okay, go ahead and finish first.
So yeah, well you can go ahead. I'm trying to find where I saw that.
So I have a friend who's currently teaching HTML and CSS and like basic coding to designers going to a university. And the whole point of it is so that the web designers can learn how to communicate with the web developers. But the kids are having a lot of, and I say kids, these are like college age people. So these are like early 20s. So they're not like super young, but they're not old. They're just like young adults. Anyway, he was talking to me about like how it feels like they're having a harder time grasping the concepts than we did when we had to take this class. And I was like, it's probably because we grew up with the internet and we used to do coding for fun. And I was like, when we were kids, HTML and CSS was new and exciting. And so like you could code your own MySpace profile, or you could code your own pet page on Neopets. And
I remember
like,
that. I took a web design class in high school.
I took a web design class made by Neopets so that you could customize things. They made a whole HTML. I printed the whole thing out.
Really?
Like so that I could study HTML and CSS at home where we didn't have the internet. I was so nerdy. And I was just talking to him about this, and it's like, because we were growing up while the internet was developing, we got to see all of the stuff that's behind the curtains now. So now, instead of like coding a website from scratch with HTML and CSS and then PHP and all of these other things, now what happens is that you have like a professional web designer develop a WordPress site or a Squarespace template, and then they'll put those on these platforms like Squarespace, like WordPress, and then you just plug in your stuff, and you never behind the curtain. You never have to learn how code works. You don't have to learn like how servers work. You don't have to learn what the cloud is. You just have to know that it works, and everything else is like set up for you as a consumer. But we grew up when there was no curtain, and so
we had to learn that stuff.
We had to learn that. So we speak the internet in a slightly different language to younger people now who are growing up with all of this technology and with the internet without having to understand how it works.
Yeah. Oh, and real quick, I don't think I've given you a shout out tonight, so let me go ahead and give you a shout out to Echo's channel. Echo is weird.
That's where I stream, and I also do YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
Recently, casually, because I'm moving and life is complicated.
Yeah, she's big. She's like about 600,000 more YouTube subscribers than I have, so she's a little bit bigger than me.
And I'm at like 580 still. It's like frozen.
Okay, 580,000.
Because I've stopped uploading consistently, so it's my fault. So
yeah. But I did find what I was looking for.
What is it?
So it was a Twitter user. His name is Zambezi Juice. I don't know if that's his name or just his thing. He said, so people born between 1985 and 1995 are the most unique generation of all time. Here's why. And he explains it. So this was actually, he posted this like 2 years ago, but so he said they are in between two generations, the one before the internet and technology took over the generation after.
Yep.
The generation before us was old school and believed in working hard. The generation after us believes in working smart. We saw it all: radio, TV, Mario, WAP trick. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what WAP trick is, but I remember
Nokia,
radio recording tapes.
Nokia, Nintendo 64, Samsung, iPhone, PS4, tape, CD, DVD, Netflix, Snapchat, emojis, virtual reality. The generation before us can be scammed with simple emails asking for money.
Yeah.
And offering love. The generation after us knows it's better to have 4 emails, one for serious stuff, social media, financial transactions, and one for experiments for things you don't trust.
Yeah.
We are the generation that, so again, this is, so people born between, what was it, 1985 and 1995 about? We're the generation that knows tradition and questions it, picking from what it makes sense to us. The generation before us knew no questions. The generation after us knows no tradition. We're the gap between the industrial age and the internet age. We understand both sides from experience. And then he goes on to say, like, we should be running the world. The old guys don't understand what's going on anymore. The new guys don't fully understand where what's going on came from. So
I like that.
I thought that was really interesting. I was like, huh. I mean, I would say maybe I'm a little biased because, you know, I fall within that time frame that he's talking about. But
yeah, I think they're just,
that was really interesting.
There's going to be things I can already tell. Like, there's going to be things like, as we get older, that we're not going to be able to keep up with. Just like in terms of technology and things. Like, I feel like I'm already slightly getting that way with TikTok because I don't get on it as much. But I also keep up with Twitter really well. And that's where a lot of like internet content comes from.
Okay, see ya, Bob Potato. Thanks for stopping by.
Like I saw, I was listening to Betsy watch TikToks yesterday, and there was one TikTok that started that was like, okay, guys, this shrimp situation, and I was like, oh, the thing that I literally just explained to her and showed her the thread on Twitter, and so she just like threw it, and I was like, yeah, because she knows about it already, because I already told her about this, and I was just like, oh, that's hilarious, like to think that there are people on TikTok who are learning about this for the first time because they don't Twitter. And I was like, I could totally make a whole TikTok around like translating Twitter to TikTok.
Like news. Like Twitter news for TikTok.
Have you seen the Bugs Bunny image of him in a suit standing, and it's like, I wish all blank a very blank?
I think so, yeah.
And it used to be like, I wish all of my mutuals a very good night, or like something very casual. And then it started getting very abstract, where it's like, I wish all cops a very fuck you. And it's like, it just got like super abstract. And now it's left the image. So now people are just not even photoshopping the image. They're just tweeting like, I wish all uncommissioned artists a very good luck. And it's like, it looks like random gibberish. But this, like, if you actually were there for the development of the meme on Twitter, you understand what it means.
Yeah, I feel like also, like, there's some cross pollination, I guess, between these different platforms. Like, you also have Reddit, which is like,
that's another one.
I use Reddit a lot, and that's like my daily dose of internet, basically, because it's usually like the most popular stuff. You know, you go to the front page.
I feel like there's Reddit, Twitter, and TikTok, maybe 4chan, but I
do
feel
people
like
still use 4chan?
Not. I feel like people use 4chan for more shady stuff and not really internet orange and stuff as much anymore.
Yeah,
it's still there, but I don't think as many people use it. But I feel like those three.
Well, you said Tumblr used to be a big one, but
I'll say Tumblr, and then Tumblr died. So
yeah.
All of Tumblr migrated to Twitter, and so Twitter is Tumblr now. But those platforms, it's like I constantly see screenshots. Oh, and I guess some Facebook, but it's mostly TikTok and Reddit that I see reposts on Twitter. And vice versa.
And see, I see like Twitter like reposted on Reddit. And you could maybe throw Facebook in there.
Yeah.
Like I see a lot of like Facebook screenshots on Twitter and on Reddit.
I see some.
But I don't really
TikTok than Reddit, and definitely more Reddit than Facebook.
And I'll see like screenshots from Twitter like as images on Facebook, right?
Yeah. That's the other thing. I'm sure Facebook has tons of stolen content from like other parts of the internet. I feel like because Facebook's so old, people, and so that's when we're like, I feel like if you're using Facebook, that's probably one of the only. Facebook is like the top scum of the internet.
Yeah. Okay, June, thanks for stopping by. I'm gonna get going. I hope you all. I want to read your comment because that's very nice. I hope all of you know that you're all beautiful, amazing, valid, and you're all loved and supported. My DMs are open to anyone who needs them, even if we don't know each other. Oh, that's really nice to offer that up. And thanks for being here. And thanks to everyone else for being here too. You know, we could not. I mean, we could do these talks, but we couldn't do these talks without the community, without you guys being here. So thank you guys for being here. But yeah, I wanted to also read. Scully said, I feel like there's a gap between early and later Gen Z. I didn't get my first phone until I was 10, so I feel like I have some of the experience you're describing, but people born in the late 2000s, early 2010s got their first phone when they were 3, so they really grew up on the internet. Yeah, true. There might I don't know if it's really like defined, like, okay, you were born in 95, this doesn't apply to you. Like, I'm sure there's a little bit of overlap, right? Because you're at like the, you know, the tail end. So, yeah, no worries, June. Hey, if you gotta go, it's totally cool. You followed already, so you know, thanks for that, and hopefully you'll be able to catch us here again.
Or we try to do them every Wednesday.
Yeah, I think we're gonna change the name. I was calling these things Wellness Wednesdays, but a couple problems with that was that number one, there's a everybody and their mom has a Wellness Wednesday on YouTube already. And number two,
Makes it very inflexible.
it makes us forced to do it on Wednesday. So I'd like to be able to maybe do it on like a Tuesday or like, you know, not just Wednesday. Like that way, you know, if there's some people who can't make it on Wednesday, maybe they can make it on Tuesday, you know, or whatever. So maybe we do it on like a Saturday. Like
Ooh.
that'd be a little frisky, right?
It'd be kind of funny if we still called it Wellness Wednesday. And
Yeah,
just had,
that's like my buddy Steve, one of my coworkers. He would have pasta Wednesdays, but then it changed to like Thursday. So, but they still called it pasta Wednesdays, but it was like on Thursday.
I kind of like that. We could
So.
have Wellness Wednesday is on Tuesday.
But yeah, you were talking about Facebook being scummy. I like to say Facebook is like the Walmart of social media.
Yes. Hold on, I dropped a thing.
Uh-oh. Better pick up your thing. That's important. Hey, there's a dog. You can see Ben in the back when you bend over. Hey, doggy.
There he is. I just a lemon seed.
But yeah, it's interesting how the Nigerian princes go from dangerous scams to memes. It certainly is.
So I saw this one thing that was talking about how the Nigerian prince scams, like why they have such bad grammar is because they're trying to weed out all of the not gullible people. And it's like it's essentially like they're just going for like quantity. They're just throwing their net out in as big of space as they can and hoping to catch.
But they don't. It's so bad.
Works. That's the sad part. It actually works.
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
They like. So the Nigerian prince scam doesn't work as well. Now it's things like your package is late. Click this link. And like.
There's some that I've gotten that okay, and at some point I got put on some kind of list and. Like someone got my email, like they got access to my Amazon account too. I got it all fixed and resolved, but like there was one point I woke up and I looked and I had literally like 200 to 300 emails of like, thanks for signing up to this website. Thanks for signing up. And a lot of them were just like in like Japanese and like in German.
A big part of that was to try and drown the email so that you wouldn't realize your Amazon account was hacked.
Maybe. But like, I ended up, what I did is I just block every single one of them. And then, you know, I got my Amazon account secure now, so that's good. But yeah, back to Facebook. Yeah, I really don't use, I don't really use Facebook that much.
Facebook pages.
I wouldn't say it's dead. I think there's
still a popular community on Facebook.
It's still, if you look at every social media, Facebook still has, you know, the biggest user base.
Do they? I guess they kind of do, huh? Because the thing is, Facebook is for normies. I feel like
the thing is, everybody's got a Facebook, right? I mean, not everybody now. I feel like a lot of people have.
But I have one so that when my family is like, hey, can you help me find my cousin? I haven't talked to them in 40 years. And it's like, okay, cool. I'll just check your, I don't know, your mother's Facebook friends, your mother's sister's Facebook friends. Easy. And it's like, I can't do that if I don't have a Facebook.
Yeah. What?
Okay, so my family thinks that I'm this crazy internet sleuth because I've managed to like make family connections because they're just
Echo
like,
Gillette, internet detective.
And I'm just like, I'm just looking at like Facebook feeds. That's it. It's like not even that hard. And like other I'm just looking at their social media. That's all I'm doing. But they think that I'm this like master sleuth of the internet. And I've had multiple family members come to me and be like, help me find this person. Can you help me like hook this up? Because I don't know how to do this. And it's like, this is such a simple thing. You just have to be able to sit down and look.
Right. I have not seen Mark Roberts' latest video on scammers.
It's not his.
But I was gonna.
Steve one, right?
Huh?
Is it a new one?
Not sure. We'll ask Mel. I was gonna say the only reason I really keep a Facebook is because like it's really not for me, it's for my family. If they want to
Yeah.
like tag me in something or, you know, ask me something or whatever. And I need it to manage. I have a Facebook page, I guess. For like my brand, like Bailey Cream. And you need like a normal Facebook account to manage that.
Yeah.
So, and I did try I also tried Facebook gaming once, and it was terrible. Would not recommend it. Because of, I mean, it was a terrible experience as a streamer, and then also like Facebook's like policies are not great.
Yeah.
But their benefit is, I guess, that they have, you know, the biggest reach out of any platform.
Oh, and Messenger. That's another one.
Yeah, Facebook Messenger.
I use Messenger more than I use Facebook because I have people who only communicate over Messenger. And then WhatsApp is another one that it's like I have people I only talk to through Messenger or through WhatsApp. And then I've also been using Signal recently.
I haven't heard of that
only
one.
With 2 friends. That one is so people realize that WhatsApp is having like WhatsApp's communications aren't properly secured, like they're not properly encoded and stuff, whereas Signal is, and so that's one that bye Betsy.
Oh, bye Betsy. I'll see you later.
Yeah, that's one that some people are using now. Is
6 days ago. Okay. Encrypted.
yes. Yeah, so Signal is encrypted, WhatsApp isn't, supposedly.
I've heard that Facebook's
DMs.
Sorry, go ahead.
Twitter DMs, messages. I talk to people on so many different platforms.
Yeah. I'm trying to grow my Twitter presence, but it's slow.
Part of it is using it.
Yeah, I don't really
and then share, like, retweeting things or commenting on things.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Like, I looked up, like, oh, how do you grow on Twitter? And they're like, oh, well, you just need to tweet, like, you know, 100 times a day. I'm like, that's a lot for me.
I wouldn't do that.
Like 100 tweets a day? That sounds like a lot.
I think another one like Twitch, where it's like it's mainly, it's better if you're importing a following from somewhere else.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, I don't have that. So I need to, like, I'm trying to, like, grow, like, organically on Twitter and all these places, but it's tough.
You'd have to actually, if you wanted to grow on Twitter, you'd have to, like, create content for Twitter, which luckily I feel like retweeting kind of partially counts as creating content or, like, sharing.
It makes it a little easier, right? Because I have made, like, some content, but it's like, oh yay, 2 likes. If I get 1 like, I'm happy, because then it's like at least someone like saw it and was like, I'm gonna heart this.
Like, what was that one thing where it's like, or I think I sent it to you on Twitter, that was like, you have 10 people watching your stream, that's great. Try and name 10 people in your real life who would sit and watch you play a game for 3 hours.
That's true.
Yeah, that's very true. I could not name 10 people who would be willing to, like, sit through one of my streams.
I mean, my friends do sometimes, so I could name at least a couple. And I have another friend that's a streamer, but, like, yeah, it's tough. Well, the thing with Twitch is it's like you can't, basically you can't grow on Twitch while you're live. Like, you do 0 growth when you're live. You grow when you're offline. And so anything that you can do,
Is that through, like, clips or how?
No. Through, like, basically through YouTube or through TikTok, like through Twitter, like making content on other platforms, like more discoverable platforms, and then building a following there and then moving them over to watch your Twitch live stream. Like, I know, like, some people that get big on TikTok, and I guess TikTok has like a streaming feature, right? And so they have a bunch of followers on TikTok, so they'll do a live stream on TikTok and be like, hey guys, just want to check in and blah blah blah, and then they'll be like, by the way, I'm gonna start streaming on Twitch now, so if you want to keep talking to me, here's my Twitch, and then that's a way to like move them over, I guess.
You know what platform is super dead that I thought of? Now. Does anyone remember that?
I don't even know what that is. You know what platform's also dead? MySpace.
Huh? Yeah.
I wonder who. Okay, let's do a show of hands. Who here in the chat has had a MySpace?
Yes.
This is gonna be interesting because I bet it won't be a whole lot. I heard though that Facebook's algorithm is garbage. They only show it.
You've had a face or a MySpace? Type no if you've never had one.
Oh, we could run a poll.
Do that. Yeah.
Let's see. Do we have? I don't think we have any mods in the chat, so I'll do it. Oh yeah, you're a mod actually.
Up it up. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. I don't remember. I might have to have you do it.
Okay, manage poll. I'll do a poll. All right, new poll. We're gonna say, did you have a MySpace? And we'll have yes and no. We'll have duration. Let's do 2 minutes. Start poll. Okay, I just started a poll, so feel free to answer it, and we'll see what people say. Will Facebook be around in 50 years?
Technically, MySpace is still up.
I doubt it.
MySpace is still up.
Technically, yes, but I mean, just compared.
Broken.
I feel like, do people still use MySpace though?
No, it's like a music some.
I think they pivoted. They're like moved to like doing like music and like band promotion and stuff.
So far, it was pretty close. It's like almost half and half.
Oh, in 50 years, there will be more dead people on Facebook than living people. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh, that hurt.
That hurts.
I just remembered something really sad, and it punched me in the heart. One of my cousins got in a car crash, and so everyone went to his Facebook profile after he died, and they were like, "Miss you, Tony. You're great cousin, by cousin, blah blah blah." And then a year after, on his birthday, everyone was like wishing him a happy birthday and telling him how much they loved him, and it was like the saddest thing I'd ever seen. It's like, oh, it's a dead person's Facebook, and he's gone.
Yeah, that's what when we lost one of our best friends to suicide. I remember on his Facebook page, people. His brother wrote a really nice post, and I think onto his brother's page, and people were commenting, and I remember his first birthday after, it was tough to see all the people,
Yeah, it's like a digital grave site, which is crazy.
So on the poll, there were more people that said they do not have a MySpace.
It was pretty close to half and half, though.
Pretty close to half and half. But yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I think I feel like I liked MySpace more than Facebook when it was at its prime.
In its heyday, it was.
In its heyday, because we were kind of like in the right time, we were in high school when MySpace was like at its prime.
And it was very much a site, it was very teenager. So
yeah, you put your top 8 friends. Like, what other website would you literally rank your friends on order of importance?
When you get in a fight with one and you move them down.
Yeah, I don't like this guy anymore. He's going to number 7.
Or I remember realizing you could do custom cursors. That was great. With the HTML and CSS, you could make a custom site, and it's
you can make
put it in this part of your bio, it'll change your cursor into a dragon. And
that's when I first learned about HTML was trying to because MySpace they didn't have it it was like kind of archaic, or it wasn't like, okay, here's your profile, pick the buttons and the color. Yeah. It was like you had to code that shit, and there's literally websites. You're like MySpace designer website, and you would like, it would help you like with the code or whatever.
Like if you want an image, you can upload it to PhotoBucket, and then you copy that code, and then you put that code in this part of the HTML, but it's like open bracket background equals something in quotes, and then that's where you put the HTML, and then close bracket, and then it'll change your background into whatever this picture is. So you'd go around and look for like a picture of a butterfly, and then you'd like put that, you'd like download it and then upload it to a PhotoBucket and copy the URL and then do all that stupid shit and then copy that and paste it into your bio section, and then it would change the background, and it was like this cool, amazing thing because no other site
so smart. Five head.
Like, now if you want to design stuff, they're just like, choose a background, and then you can either upload your own image or go through their selection.
Or now it's most of them, it's just like pick a banner, pick a profile pic. That's what you get.
It's not even, it's not even background. It's not even as in-depth as it used to be. And part of that is because of Facebook. So this is the thing that a friend pointed out to me. If you allow everyone to customize, the power to customize your website, it makes for a really ugly website. And unfortunately, that's true. The amount of like sparkly glitter kitten
there's
had like it was unreadable. They'd put like GIF like sparkly fairy backgrounds, and it'd be tiled, and you couldn't read any of the text because it would be like black on white, white on black, and like going back and forth, and like the cursor would be like some sparkly twirly piece of ribbon that would be floating around, and you couldn't tell which part of it was supposed to be clicking, and like it made for a horrible website. It was so much fun. Horrible website. And then Facebook came along and was like, here's this cookie cutter website. You can pick one profile picture and you can pick one banner. And it was like,
I don't even think they had a banner when they first started.
But they were like,
profile pic.
You're not allowed. And because of that, it made for a pretty website. Because they took away the control.
Yeah. Friendster?
Is Friendster even a thing?
ICQ? Oh, that's like a thing that, oh my god, I remember it.
What is this?
ICQ. It was like an old,
I've never heard of Friendster. Actually, the name sounds really, really familiar. But
I feel like I used ICQ. It was like, you remember like those AOL chat rooms? So
I never actually used the AOL chat rooms, but I know people who did use AOL chat rooms.
I used it. I had an AIM. You guys remember? I'm like kind of dating myself here, but AOL Instant Messenger was AIM, and
I never used them, but I knew people who did, but that was mainly because like, I was a little. So, like, my only internet access was at school and the library because we were very poor. And so for a lot of the things, we were kind of behind the times, but still very of the generation.
Yeah.
And surrounded by people who
I was, I guess typical privileged white male. So I had the internet, for most of growing up.
We accessed the internet because one of our neighborhood friends had it.
But yeah, I remember the AOL chat rooms, and you would chat with a random person, and you'd say ASL ? Which was age, sex, and location. So like your age, your sex, and then like where you're from, basically.
Yeah.
So that was So ICQ is basically the first AIM. Yeah, I don't know if I actually I definitely remember ICQ, but I think AOL. AIM was the first one I actually used because I was old enough to use it.
Omegle,
that's still around, isn't it?
It's still around. People still use it. And
Chat Roulette.
Yeah, Roulette and Omegle were like the OG.
Are those the same thing?
I think Chat Roulette came after Omegle, didn't it?
Which one is the one that you go to and it's always some guy wanking it?
Both of them.
Both of them?
Chat Roulette.
Oh man.
Omegle.
I've seen some funny YouTube videos about Omegle where they're like there's a guy who's like a professional guitarist, and he'll do an Omegle that's like like, hey, you guys wanna hear me play this song? And he has like a Hello Kitty guitar, and then he plays this like incredible like guitar like solo or whatever. It was pretty funny.
So I have a friend who is like, she's very pretty, like in a classic sense of like, she just has a very nice face. Sorry, I'm picking at my teeth. But she made this like short clip of her just like sitting, and then it like morphs into this like horror face thing, and then like goes back, and it's essentially just like a GIF image that like is just like her sitting, and it's just kind of her like moving, so it looks like a video, and then just like morphing into this horrible monster. But she was able to hook it up where it was like that's what you would see on Omegle, and she recorded like a certain amount of time of just getting these like terrified reactions from people on like Omegle, and just it's really funny because there's this one where this guy gets like freaked out, and then his door just like opens, and it's like there's nothing there, it just like drifts, and it was just really spooky. I'm sure like a cat walked in or something, but it was really funny. And so she was like, this is my small amount of internet fame, and I think it was something that had like 24,000 views or something like that in like 2011. It was really funny though.
Yeah, I think I had used those just a couple times, but yeah, Scully, it's Omegle is just like a place where weird pedos hang out, pretty much.
Yeah, there's a lot of like,
or horny guys. That's pretty much it.
Of dicks.
There's
a lot of
there's
dicks.
so it's like every other connection is a dick, pretty much.
Like weird guys with a what is the fetish when like doing it in public?
Not sure. Something.
There's a name for it, but yeah. So like people with that fetish who are like, it's like a simulated public.
I guess.
Okay, let me see. When was I typed that wrong.
Okay, good night, Mom. Have a good night. God, I'm talking about dicks with my mom here. I'm sorry, Mom.
Okay, so chat roulette started in 2009. Is that? Yeah, that makes sense. So I would have been in high school.
It's called Not Okay. Exhibitionists?
Yes, that's the one.
There you go.
Yes. People with an exposure fetish. When was
my mom just says TMI.
This is what we dealt with. Oh wow. It was okay, so Omegle started in March 2009. And oh wait, where did it go? Chat roulette started in November 2009.
Oh, so they're about the same time?
Yeah, chat roulette was almost immediately after Omegle.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, this is a popular website. Let's make a clone.
And apparently, they're making a comeback, like both of these platforms with the pandemic, which makes sense. People are alone and bored.
Making a comeback.
Yeah, that they made comebacks with.
I was trying to make a joke out of that. Even Kermit the Frog flashes his peen. Yeah.
Yeah,
it's kind of a cesspool, but
it is a cesspool, but it can be fun.
Yeah, I feel like it's like I feel like with Twitch, it's a little easier because Twitch has terms of service that you can't violate to like just match with a random person and like start talking to them. But still, like, you have to be like a streamer to like.
Does Omegle have terms of service? Can you ban the peen?
Can you ban the peen? Well, if you
don't count, right?
If I don't know, do you
jump on Omegle? Let's jump on Omegle. Oh god,
this might be a terrible decision.
It's an 18+ stream, right?
I mean, it is, but you still can't like. They do say video is monitored, keep it clean. But I don't know. They might have changed things because of all the.
Maybe don't stream it.
I'm not. Why don't you because we're not streaming from your computer.
Yeah.
So
Omegle, talk to strangers.
I feel like pulling Omegle up on stream is probably a bad idea.
Probably the worst idea.
But yeah, I don't think you even need a. Oh, okay. So it says start chatting. You can text or video, and it says the video is unmoderated section. But then they say video is monitored. Keep it clean. Okay. Omegle video chat is moderated. However, moderation is not perfect. You may still encounter people who misbehave. They are solely responsible for their own behavior. Yeah, like literally everyone.
I'm like, I got to this part and I'm like, oh, maybe not.
I've seen Omegle compilations on TikTok. Yeah, I've seen some on like on YouTube, like I said, of that guitarist, but I haven't really seen much other than that.
This really great TikTok where it was like a person who was they were like drawing the people that they were finding on Omegle, and then they turn it around and you could see your own face, and then people would be like, oh, it's so cute, and then they close it and it'd say it would be the Death Note.
Oh jeez.
And then they'd be like, ah.
Oh boy. You have to find someone who gets the reference though.
Yeah.
But
like,
still.
You have to find someone who gets the reference, and you have to find someone who like is flattered by being drawn and stuff like that, and like who, yeah, I think that's funny. Maybe I should make an Omegle video and just like
I like
people.
Yeah, you could totally do that, but
I feel like that's
you gotta watch out for the dicks.
The dicks, yeah. So that's why I'm like, this wouldn't work great for a stream.
Not for a stream, but you could totally like record it and then make a video later.
Totally work for a video.
But yeah,
drawing Omegle.
Yeah, I think I did Omegle in college.
When did I do Omegle? I guess it was high school.
Yeah, you don't even need
You don't need an account or anything.
It's a great way to make new friends. Is it? That's what they say. Omegle.
Okay, Omegle.
Omegle?
Okay, Omegle.
I call it Omegle. A great way to meet friends, even while practicing social distancing.
If you say so, Omegle.
So yeah, you don't have an account. It says to keep you safe, chats are anonymous unless you tell someone who you are. Not suggested.
Strangers.
Wait, this literally makes no sense.
Huh.
Okay, literally, okay, on their website, guys. It's a great way to meet new friends, but also it's not suggested to tell someone who you are. How do you make a friend without them knowing who you are?
I guess that kind of makes sense. Like, I have no idea who Mel is, but I've known them for a really long time.
But like, how? Okay, like I guess I don't really understand how Omegle works. Do you if you have a conversation with someone on Omegle, can you like talk to them again like at another time? Huh?
So I think you'd have to like be like, here's my username on.
So you'd have to tell them who you are. So how can you make a friend without them knowing who you are? Like at least with like Mel, you know their username.
I know Mel. Yeah, but I don't know what I don't know what he looks like. I don't know anything about him other than
but you at least know something, their username, right?
Hey, I didn't even know his pronoun.
Well, that's true. I feel like it's just kind of contradictory how they say it's a great way to meet new friends, but also don't tell anyone who you are.
I feel like they're just covering their asses.
Yeah, predators have been known to use Omegle, so please be careful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. How do you get a job without experience, and how do you get experience without
Yeah. That's another one.
Yeah.
We're looking for someone who has 10 plus years experience in this job that the program has only been written 4 years ago.
Yep. It's like 10, so we should probably take off.
Oh, yeah, it is getting close to bedtime. Should we rate someone?
Yeah, let's do that. Who's been just talking?
Let me first look and see if I have any friends who I don't think. If anyone has a suggestion. Covering their asses but not their dicks. Nice. That's a good one, Biblical Angels.
That's very good.
Yeah, if I don't know, Echo, if you have any friends that are
so Bailey J is on right now.
Oh, let me give one more shout out to Echo. If you guys haven't followed Echo here.
Oh no, you're offline.
There. I can't
Bailey's
point.
All
Right
guys.
there. Follow her. Do you want to find another just chatting? Let me browse.
Yeah.
Maybe we can have chat pick. Right?
Yeah.
You guys can be part of the whatever it's called. Deliberation.
Oh my gosh, what was that just saying? Also, yes, those jokes were hilarious. That was very good. Okay, this is a terrible idea, but you know how we have facial recognition? What if we had like dick recognition? And I don't mean like
Where are you going with this?
I don't mean to like connect dicks to people, but to auto censor. Like if there was a way where it could be like, oh, that's penis censored.
I don't mean to connect dicks to people. Oh man.
I mean, isn't like not to be like, oh yes, the Jonathan's dick.
Oh man, that's a good way to end the night here. Oh man. Docking. No, I know what you're talking about. To like,
I feel like it would be totally possible.
Dick recognition software.
To know what to recognize the dick and censor it automatically. I feel like that would save so many internet problems.
They definitely, I don't know, maybe they have something like that.
Facebook's got to.
I don't know.
If not, a bit.
Do we want to raid this random person who's painting and just chatting?
Yeah.
Sure. Why not?
Raid another artist.
She's it's hand painting.
Ooh.
Not sure what she's painting, but let's do it. But I do want to say a thank you to everyone who's been here tonight discussing this with us, and I hope to see you guys again soon. I stream a couple times a week. I don't really have a set schedule, but I will likely be streaming tomorrow night. So feel free to smash that follow button if you want to be notified next time we are live. And we'll be doing another mental health stream maybe next week, but probably the one after on Echo's channel.
Yeah. If we do stream next week, it'll be on Dan's channel again.
Yeah, because she's going to be out of town. So probably not, but...
Also, at some point, I think that when we do like a wellness stream, we should just have like a mini party for ourselves. Because...
Sure. I like parties.
We'll have a party. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
We'll play a game or something.
Yeah, thanks, Mel. Thanks, Scully.
Yeah,
thanks for being here. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate it. Like I said, we couldn't do these talks without you. So we're gonna go raid Monda Scott. I have no idea who she is, but she is painting. So be sure to give her some love. Mm-hmm. And I hope to catch you guys next time. Yes, Biblical Angels, thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of the discussion. And I hope that you and everybody else here has a fantastic rest of your Wednesday night. And I might see some of you tomorrow night. And if not, have a great rest of your week. And stay safe out there. Right. Peace out.
Bye.
Okay, we raiding.
Ooh, I love her setup.
How do you say that? So, statistics? Bailey cream. Oh, Bailey, thank you for raiding me. Hi, Bailey cream. Another
Bailey
raid.
raid.
Hi, raiders. Hi, Bailey. Oh, Bailey. Thank you for the raid. Hi, Melchan. How you doing? We're painting an elephant. Welcome. Oh, guys.
Her lighting is
raid.
gorgeous.
Welcome. This is what we're painting tonight.
Oh, that's what she's
Elephant.
painting. Elephant.
Statistics.
Oh, I wonder if it's like a paint by numbers thing.
So it's like
It looks like it
but
is.
Sosa. Can I call you Sosa?
Looks like it.
Welcome, Raiders. Nice to meet you guys. Aww. Thank you for the raid. Freckles.
Oh, it looks like she
What
does
you
ASMR
doing,
too.
Freckles? Where you been? You're late.
That is neat.
You're late.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up.
Oh, okay. We'll see you later.
I am.
I'm gonna
having
come
a good
downstairs here in a
night,
sec.
Bailey.
Oh,
I hope
okay.
you're having a good night as
I'm gonna
well.
talk
Thank
to
you
her
very
for a little
much
bit.
For the raid. I appreciate you. What a cute little emo. The pride wave. Oh, that's so cute. That's really cute. I like that. Night, Mojo. You guys, Mojo. Before Mojo leaves, Mojo is my oldest follower. Mojo just turned 70.